YouTube, Twitch, and Kick. I don't know if you guys know about the other two platforms, but everybody knows about YouTube. I'm going to say hello to everybody and then introduce you guys.
Okay.
Good evening, everybody. Good evening. I hope you're all having a great evening. We have a very special Terror Talk Tuesday for you. Yes, we're going to be talking to Alok Mishra, producer, one of the producers of 1BR, which is a horror thriller that I've been telling you guys about. And we're going to be talking to Naomi Grossman. She has also played character Janice in 1BR, as well as many other awesome stuff in Hollywood.
Oh, hello.
Hello, Monkey. How are you? Hi, Helen. We do have a couple of guidelines before I introduce them. We are dealing with the SAG-AFTRA strike, so this is uncharted territory. There may be some things we cannot talk about, so if you do ask a question and I kind of skip over it or just go like this, it's not anything against you. It's just something that we can't talk about. So hopefully everyone gets that and understands that. And now I'm going to bring on Alok Mishra and Naomi Grossman. Let's say hello. And
Hello.
there we go. Hello. How are you guys doing this evening?
Good.
Good.
Good, good.
Good. I heard by you. I'm pretty sure by both of you, it's sunny and warm and 75 degrees or something.
No, it's not snowing like it is there, I guess, huh?
No, unfortunately, it's cold. It's like minus 10 degrees Celsius and it is snowing hard.
Wow.
Yeah, not a good time, especially when you got to drive in that stuff.
Ooh. We can't drive in the rain here. So I don't know what we would do with snow. Over the summer, we had a hurricane and an earthquake, and they called it Hurricane.
Hurricane.
No one dared to step outside. It was just like,
God.
crazy storm, and that was like.
But it really wasn't. It actually nothing happened. But yes, no one left the house. Like schools were canceled. Like it was a whole thing,
There was a meme of a lawn chair knocked over, and it said, "Los Angeles will recover from the hurricane."
That's exactly right.
We will rebuild.
We will rebuild, yeah.
No, and it was on a Sunday. So when they canceled schools, it was literally because they were recovering from the lawn chair that was, fell over.
Well, some of the schools were flooded actually. So that's what and they couldn't figure out if people could get in or not. That was the other worry,
that
I
was
guess,
totally independent. It was because there was a water cooler. It was dropped, like one of the teachers ran into it and it fell over, and that's it.
That's probably what happened, actually. Yeah.
Well,
we will rebuild. We will rebuild.
There you go. We're lucky here. We don't have hurricanes. We're landlocked, but we do get tornadoes and snowstorms. Not a lot of fun.
Crazy. Good stuff.
I know, right? The weather is really weird lately, but not much we can do about it. But anyways, I want to thank you both for being here, taking the time out of your busy schedules to come and chit chat with me about all things, that we can chat about during the strike.
I can clarify for you. I think you can talk all you want. It's just, I can't say it much. So
right.
There might be times when I'm just like safe word or, whatever. And I think that's the point.
I mean, but the other thing about it is that I might know the answer to the question, actually. So
that's
I have
exactly
no restriction.
Right. Alok and I have sometimes, we've done so many of these. I mean, this is how we got through COVID. Like,
Yeah.
that that he can like literally, his impersonation of me is terrible. Mine of his is quite excellent. Although don't ask me to do the Indian accent because it is highly offensive. But
it's not good either, by the way.
And also, he doesn't have an Indian accent, so there's literally no reason for me to do it. Like, it's so
outside of just being
in, like,
outside of just being objectively racist. There's no reason to do it. So
right.
Yeah.
But anyway, the point is, yes, if need be, Alok can probably sue me. And yeah, and again, it's kind of like Halloween. You can dress as Wednesday Addams, you can dress as Barbie, but again, as a SAG-AFTRA member, I am I'm sort of screwed this Halloween. I don't know what I mean.
In a sense, I might be able to, I'm almost like a SAG interpreter for you. The things that you can't say, a money-grubbing producer can say, you see? So, and I can tell you everything you want to know about 1BR or whatever. So, I can talk.
All right.
That's true.
That's great.
You can even do it in a funny Indian accent if you want.
But I'm not going to because it's
not
just
only
racist.
is he quite good at it, but it's not offensive because he's already Indian.
Well, that's questionable. But yes,
that's questionable.
You do whatever you want.
It's questionable as to whether you're Indian.
No, whether it'd be offensive. I mean, everyone's very woke right now. What if I'm offending the people the Indian people that have accents, as if I'm mocking them or something, right? Even though my parents had accents, and I would just be mocking them.
It's like
someone's gonna find something offensive about everything, so they can all go fuck themselves.
Somebody is always offended.
Can we curse on this, by the way?
Yes, you can.
Why not? We're already offending several billion people in India.
I mean, it's a start.
Why not?
I have an alert going off. Welcome, guys. Welcome. My lights go off and go a little crazy. Good evening, Paul. Good evening, Tater. Hello, Helen. Hi, Batman. Deadwalk. Land. Ben. Epic. Hi, how is everybody? If you're just joining us, we are discussing SAG-AFTRA, what we can talk about with Alok Mishra and Naomi Grossman. We're going to touch a little bit on 1BR, which is, I've been telling you guys about it. Oh, why does that bot keep doing its thing? Okay, there we go. Now, I know we were just having some fun about accents and things, but I know you guys only have about an hour of time, so I don't want to waste it too much. Alok, can you tell us a little bit about you and how you got started as a producer and what else you can talk about what else you may be producing in the future?
Yeah, sure. So I, before I became a producer, I did market research for film. I tested movies for a living. So like all the different studios here in town. We test a lot of stuff in Los Angeles. We go out of town sometimes. But I did that for 18 years. And I kind of came to I had a moment of what is it all about? Let's call it a first divorce. And I was sort of like, I need to start making movies. That was my original idea. And I kind of got sucked into this business, which was fairly lucrative and very seductive in that way. And it kind of lets you learn about movies, like in marketing films, really, and learn about sort of the studio system. But it really wasn't fulfilling my need and want to actually produce films. So I decided to bite the bullet and start looking for scripts and quit my job and basically spent 2 years just researching scripts and trying to figure out stuff, and finally came to a place in 2017 where we found the perfect script. And Naomi Grossman and I have been friends for 20, I think it's more than 20, maybe we're 25 years, maybe? I don't know, something like that, I think. A long time.
I think that I can talk about. Yeah, we met when I first moved out to LA, which was, oh my God. Yeah, it was 97. So
yeah, do the math.
That's what, 26 years ago?
Yeah.
Yeah. Something like that.
Wow.
Yeah, we're getting old. Anyway, So yeah,
We were
Naomi and I met
babies.
then.
We're babies.
Yeah, we were babies, and I actually made her as one of my confidants. I made her read the script when I got it, the 1BR script. And I was just like, well, who do you think you want to be in it? And we brought her in for an audition. And actually, this is how, when
But
you're doing
as the
independent.
actress, I'm like, all the roles, like all the female roles, literally, like, let's make me like Eddie Murphy and coming to America. Like, of course I can play a white older man. Of course I can play the lead black man. Of course I can play,
So the bottom line was we brought her. She thought she had the part. Like I was just like, hey, you got this part. But we brought her in for an audition because we wanted the director to meet with her and kind of know that she's not a crazy person and they can work together and stuff like that. And I think we brought you on for 2 parts, in fact. But I was the reader. This is how poor independent film is that you have to wear many hats. And so I was the reader, and basically I play Trivial Pursuit with her. And like I read the questions all jacked up so that even if you knew the answer, you might not get the answer. And so she was just like, "What is he trying to do? What is Mishra trying to do? Is he trying to fuck me? Like I'm trying to get this part. I thought I had the part, and I'm brought in for an audition."
Well, it's just that here's the thing. Literally, it's not that I'm so presumptuous, like I have the part. No, he called me when he first found this script and liked it. And again, as his close friend and confidant, he called and was like, "Hey, will you read this? Like, tell me if I'm crazy. Like, I'm thinking about working on this, but I don't, I just need a second opinion before I mortgage my already paid off house to make this happen." So sure enough, I read the script and I was like, I think it's great. And yeah, count me in. And of course, we'd always sort of been dreaming of like there being, some project that would give us a chance to finally actually work together. So anyway, I just assumed this was it. So yeah, when I got a call from my agent for an audition, I was like, oh, an audition. Like again, now I get it. You're right.
Yeah.
Alok's right. It's not normal for the producer to take the actor out for drinks after their audition. Like that is not precedented. So I had to know there was probably something up. But at the same time, it was a little weird. Like the actual audition itself, where Alok was my reader and was literally, it's as if he was trying to sabotage my read. I mean, any actor listening will understand what I'm talking about. Like, I've even been in acting classes where they're like, okay, let's do this like bad casting director exercise, where the other person reading the role is like, speaking in tongues or maybe has a hilarious Indian accent or whatever, something that might, distract you. Yeah, so that was Alok.
I was like, I'm going to read it British now, whatever. So I didn't do that, but yeah. So it was a very funny time. But getting back to your original question, I don't think I answered it. So how did I get in this business? I came in through market research. I've basically my producing partner and myself want to make sort of thinking persons horror movies, and so that's what we've been attempting to do. It was hard that we had success during COVID because no one's going to give you extra money to make your independent film. So a lot of that stuff got paused and this and that. But we have a bunch of different films in the hopper right now. But the one that we're working the hardest on is actually the sequel to 1BR. It's going to be like a much bigger budget thing. And I can't say much about that. We're trying to keep it very J.J. Abrams, like what's in the box. We're not going to tell you what's in the box, and you'll pay to see what's in that box. And so that's what we're trying to do, keep it very much under wraps. And I think people would like it better if it is that way, because even when we did our trailer, we tried not to give anything away, right? That's what I would tell you. So that's basically how I got started. I may have allegedly mortgaged an already paid off house to help make this movie just because I believed in it so much. And the director actually put money in too as well, actually, just as much as we did. My producing partner Shane Borster and I, also in addition to producing it, also funded the thing along with David Mormer, the director. And I mean, it's been quite a ride. Like it was we always say it's the little film that could, because we had a lot of trials and tribulations trying to make this thing, and we were able to overcome them to some extent, and and make something that I think people have been happy with, more or less. And it's 88% on Rotten Tomatoes. I don't know if you can trust those guys, but there's like 83 reviews, right? So I think at some point you can see patterns in the data, as we used to say in the whole market research business. And so I think people enjoy the film. There is a little pet death in it. Just to tell people ahead of time, it's something you blink and you miss. You blink and you miss it. It goes very quick.
It's quick.
And yes, and so it shouldn't be that triggering. And I think there's places online like what is it? Did they kill the dog.com or places
something like that? Yeah.
Literally give you like the time code where you can literally turn your head, and literally for less than 3 seconds or 2 seconds, you will have missed the thing and you'll move on. Like you won't. And by the way, it's not a real cat. Just so you know, it's not a real cat.
We would hope so.
We try to put it in the trailer, so that people knew that it was coming, and still, that's like the worst reviews we get even now. It's always like, "You killed a cat. I shan't watch this movie at all, and I'll give you half a star." It's like, okay, So anyway, we learned a lot of lessons making this movie. That's one of them. Don't kill the cat if you can help it. Like that's whatever.
Yep.
But anyway, so just warning you ahead of time. But anyway, that's my origin story, if you will.
Awesome. Well, thank you for sharing your origin story. And I want to hear about Naomi Grossman's origin story. Where did you come from? How'd you get into it?
Well, I was born on the coldest day of the year in Denver, Colorado. The Volkswagen bus almost didn't start. No, I won't bore you with the entire, the labor and, I came from Denver. I lived there for my whole childhood till I left the nest, went to Argentina as an exchange student. Ooh. Which was kind of it's funny. It's like the one time, I was like a born performer, like from, I would say a young age, but like fetus, like embryo, like I'm not really sure when it exactly started, but I was born on that cold day in Denver with jazz hands. This I know. I was always just very focused, primarily acting. I was always, singing and dancing and wanted in all the musicals and just everything for that matter. I was extremely driven, very like type A go-getter, kind of achiever type.
Well, she was on. You were on television shows as a child, right? I know you can't talk about those things, but I think it was Father Dowling's Mysteries, or was it Murder, She Wrote? I can't remember which one.
No, I was on Father Dowling.
Father Dowling. You're not supposed to talk about it. I'll talk about it. Father Dowling's Mysteries. Yes, she's in SAG, so she can't talk. But she was in that as a child, and yes. Many commercials and so forth, and had the bug. And sorry, you go ahead, Noam.
Yeah, but
I'm gonna protect you as your SAG interpreter. So protecting you.
Thank you. So I think, but what's funny is, in spite of just how very driven I was, like I think because I was so driven, I'd already become like the president of every club and like the star of every play. So I needed to do something. Like I was a very big fish in this very small pond of Denver. So and when I say big fish, I realize how ridiculous I sound. I did an episode of Father Dowling Mysteries. How big could I be? Anyway, the point is I skipped town. I moved to Argentina for a year. I was an exchange student there. And even though that was literally the 1 year of my life that I did everything but acting, it ended up being like one of the most formative times in my career in a weird way. Like from like my first solo show was inspired by it, called Girl in Argentine Landscape. It ended up, teaching Spanish became my like actor survival job. It's wild to think how much that has affected my career. When that was literally the last thing on my mind. Anyway, from there, I went on to college at Northwestern in Chicago. Survived 4 very cold winters there. And from there, I was like, I am out of here. I need some sunshine. I am suffering from serious, what is that, deprivation from the sun. So I moved to LA, where, of course, Alok is from, in a roundabout way. One of his high school besties was one of my college besties. So, he'd known her when growing up here in LA together. And so when I moved out here, I didn't have any friends. And so pretty much she just introduced me to her clique of friends. And that is how
And
this
that
was
friend
born.
is named Lila Zuckerman, and her, along with her sister Nora Zuckerman, are the Zuckerman sisters, and they are the creators of the Peacock hit Poker Face.
Oh, nice. Nice. We don't get Peacock
They've also
here.
done a ton of TV shows, which I can't speak about because.
Well, anything
Yes.
from Suits to the what's that Marvel Avengers spin-off show, the whatever they are of the Avengers or something like that. I mean, it ran like 5 seasons on ABC. I don't remember the name of it,
But they're a really remarkable team of. I mean, let's face it, women are often not known for being like creators of sci-fi
Yep.
and so it's kind of a cool, like, there's this like hot girl duo doing their thing in Hollywood.
and that's who introduced me to Naomi Grossman. So
yeah.
Yep.
That's awesome. And I think it's great that women are now making a full name for themselves in the industry. Like, it's awesome to see. You got the Twisted Sisters out in Vancouver, which they make a lot of independent horror films.
Well, the Soska sisters, if you speak, right?
Yeah, the Twisted Twins. Yeah,
Twisted Twins. They actually have a new, I think, a zombie movie that's something to do with George Romero coming out. I think on Shudder, I want to say.
Yeah, it has another independent.
Next couple of months and stuff.
Yeah.
So I'm excited to see what they do. I actually met them one time at a film festival in Manchester, and I forget which one because they're twins. You get them mixed up.
Yes.
But they gave me the most heartfelt hug, and I was like, "What are you doing? I'm married. I feel funny." It's like, but that marriage is over now too. I wish I had given her a better hug. So anyways, that's done. But yes, they were lovely, and I'll tell you, people love those ladies. Yeah. There was like, it was the Grimfest in Manchester, and the thing that's really interesting about that film festival is that they let you come outside after the movie is over, and you sign, like, they have little pictures of your movie, and you sign what people want to have a copy of it. You give them an autograph. And I had never done an autograph in my life. And so David and I were like, no one wants the director and the producer's autograph. And then meanwhile, Soska sisters come out, and there's like literally a fucking 3-hour line for them. And they stayed through the entire thing to make every single person got like one of those very tender hugs, and also then like sign something for them. Like 3 hours, they just like went through the whole thing. They were just like,
and they got paid for every single one, Alok.
They didn't get paid shit. No one got paid shit. We didn't get paid shit. No, they didn't get paid anything. They literally didn't. They were just, that's part of the festival. That's part of the charm of the festival, because they're very fan forward.
They are.
They want you to be able to meet them and for that. So they stayed for free and did that shit. It was really awesome.
Okay.
That's really awesome. I know they are very fan forward. They're independent filmmakers, right? And you have to rely on your fan base you don't have deep pockets like New Line Cinema and all that, giving you that money to produce that film. You're usually raising it yourself, putting your house on like 2 or 3 mortgages, borrowing money from friends, doing what other people have done to bring that film to their dream to the screen. And that's, your fans are going to help you do that. Definitely.
They're very good about like finding money and stuff, and they're really, very creative the way they do it. But they've been able to remake like Cronenberg, another Canadian Rabbit, I want to say they redid, and like I said, they're doing Romero zombie movies. So they're not doing. They're doing. Their career trajectory has been very interesting, and it's they're always something I want to watch. It may not be something I love necessarily, but it
Yep.
is something that it's always interesting to watch them.
Yep, I always cheer them on. Two Canadian sisters coming up out of Vancouver. So it's really good to see. I just want to say I really loved 1BR. I've watched it. Today was the fourth time I've watched the movie.
Wow, thank you.
Well, no problem. I enjoyed it, and I was one of the people on Twitter like, I need a sequel. I need a sequel.
Well, someone just got to read the sequel the other day, but we can't.
We can't talk much about it.
We can't talk anything about who that is or what that is or so.
Vald was wondering, where can I watch 1BR? Well, in Canada, you can watch it on Tubi.tv. If you're in the States, probably on Amazon, most likely Tubi.tv. I know ours is a little bit different.
I can tell you every place, actually. If you want to watch it commercial free, you can watch it on Shudder or AMC Plus. If you don't mind the commercials and want to watch it for 100% free, you can watch it on Tubi, Amazon Freevee, Plex, Pluto TV, Roku TV, Zumo, and I'm forgetting one of them. But if you go to justwatch.com, it's an amazing resource, and you can see exactly all over the world. You can toggle it for your country and this and that. So
I do that.
You can find out exactly where to go for it.
Yeah, so Vald, you'll be able to watch it everywhere because you live in the States. You guys get everything, not Canada.
For free.
Oh, well, and even better, for free.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, here we don't get Hulu, we don't get Peacock, we don't get Vudu, we don't get half the stuff that you said.
Oh, it's on Peacock. That's who it's on. It's on
Peacock too.
Yes, that's it.
Well,
we don't heard of half these networks. It sounds like you're making up half of these things.
You have a Roku.
Roku.
Do I don't even know.
You have a Roku. You have a Roku TV.
Okay. I believe you.
They're always good things to have, though. And Tubi is great. I don't know who owns that, but I think it's great.
Fox owns Tubi, and Tubi is like one of the best curated sources of horror. Besides, Shudder is amazing.
Shudder is amazing.
Like the best. But as far as amount of horror and different kinds of horror, I mean, I one time was having a meeting with Tubi. And I went to their horror section. This is during COVID, actually, so it's not the same as it used to be. But I went to the horror section and I just started scrolling, and I didn't stop scrolling for an hour, and I kept on going, and I was just like, I need to get to the end of it. Now it's a quest. I got to get to the end of it.
Yeah.
And I told the lady, the exec at Tubi, I'd done this, and she's just like, "You were impressive that you went through the whole thing." And I had to get to the end. I just wanted to see the end, end of the rainbow or whatever it was, and there was like. Literally like 8 different shark clown movies. Like I mean, I'm telling you, it's a very specific genre, and they have that many movies, right? Like, or whatever it was. Like that's what they have there. That's how much stuff they have there. It's not as much as it used to be compared to like that scrolling for an hour. They've had to curtail it down, but it is pretty impressive nonetheless. It really is.
Yeah, I know when I was going through it, they had it was 1,756 horror movies. I know it's changed now because I've done the same thing. I've scrolled through. I am a horror movie fanatic, and I love independent films. So I go scroll through, ad list. I've gone to the end.
I mean, Amazon is almost that way too, but I think that they only have like 600 films or something.
Yeah.
It's less.
I mean, they do some independent films, but not as much as some of the other platforms.
Yeah, I mean, Tubi far and away, I think, has like still the most independent and the most, different genres comparatively compared to all the other ones. So, and by the way, they pay filmmakers pretty fairly for watching the films. Like you split the ad revenue essentially. This might be a little inside baseball for everyone, but I think it's interesting to know. So filmmakers make anywhere from like 15 to like 12 to 22 cents, depending on the time of year, and depending if you watch all the commercials. Like that's the whole thing. If you get to the end of the movie, that filmmaker has made, and get to credits and stuff like that. That filmmaker's probably made anywhere from like 12 to 22 cents depending on the type of year. So this is like a place that independent filmmakers actually still make money.
Right.
So my point to you is, if you're going to watch the film, if you're going to watch 1BR, for example, please go to either Tubi or Peacock, or one of the ones that show ads, because that really does pay us the most amount of money, actually.
That's good to know. I had no idea.
Yep.
No idea. Naomi, I know with the SAG-AFTRA strike, you can't talk about much studio Hollywood stuff, but are there anything that you are personally working on? Anything, any endeavors, any projects that you can talk about?
Well, so the only thing I can really talk about would be stage projects, because they obviously have nothing to do with film and TV. So I have my own one-woman show, is called American Horror Story, and it's just had its first run here in LA in June, and we're taking it on the road. It'll be next off Broadway in New York at the AMT Theater in January for those back east. And then, I mean, we'll see from there. I mean, this is really just the beginning, I hope, of course. I mean, it's definitely a love letter to American Horror Story fans. It kind of chronicles my journey, my history of hustling, I like to say, because the horror of American Horror Story is not promiscuous. I already did that show. That was Carnival Knowledge. That was my second show. This is more like a hustler, a woman who does what she's got to do to get what she wants. And so we see my origin story, kind of pre-Pepper, post-Pepper, becoming Pepper. So horror story fans will be satiated for sure. I mean, it's all the stories that you want to hear at the Q&As at the Comic-Cons, but curated. You know what I mean? Like, finally well told. And yet, if you don't watch the show and you're not familiar with Pepper, that also doesn't matter. Like, there were people who came and saw the show that didn't even know that I had any association with it. So there's that too. So I enjoy that aspect of it, that it's going to be enjoyable regardless. There's Easter eggs. If you do know American Horror Story, it's going to be that much more fulfilling, but it's not contingent upon that.
You don't have to be a diehard fan to be able to understand the story that's being told.
Oh, no.
Is it playing in Taos as well, or no?
Yes. I mean, the likelihood of somebody watching a podcast based in Alberta, Canada, just happens to be in a tiny town in New Mexico over Christmas, not great, but I suppose possible. Yeah. So we are going to kind of dust off the cobwebs in New Mexico over the holidays. It's where my family lives. So that's where I'll be to celebrate Christmas. And I figure while I'm there, it's an art colony. So, and obviously like a world-renowned ski resort. So, there's an audience there. People come, primarily from Texas, but from all over to, enjoy the weather and the skiing, there. I've done my last two shows I took there as well. And I can't even explain the reception. Like, we had my mom, we actually put our home phone number as the, reservation line. So for the time while I was there, my mom was actually answering the phone, like, box office. I mean, this is her own home phone number. And of course, but because it was so popular, we sold it out. And my mom is literally pimping me out, like adding performances on the day. And this was on New Year's Eve, by the way. So my own mom is like, yes, the 2 p.m. is full. Could you do an 8? And of course I'm like, what is going on? Like, am I involved at all here? Like, do I even get a say? You know, it's like she's just kind of like monkey dance, you know. But sure enough, she like, I mean, like my own mom, she's like a freaking Spanish, or I'm sorry, piano teacher, is like pimping me out to, you know, like talk about money grubbing producer. You know, adding performances on the day, on New Year's Eve, no less. And people are buying it. Literally, we had like a line out the street in 10 below zero weather at 8 p.m. on New Year's Eve. It's like, really? This is how you want to ring in the new year? Like, with me, like watching a one woman show? But they did. They really did. They were, and so, yeah, this is why I'm like, yeah, I'll go back. Are you kidding? It's like the most like giving audience ever.
She
Yeah.
seems like such an unassuming woman. Like she's a very small, quiet, very well-spoken woman. She doesn't like when I curse. Actually, she hears me cursing and she just tells me, like, "You could do better, Mishra. You could be better." And
Well,
so
it's
funny.
true.
It's
And
funny.
here's the
I didn't
thing.
realize that her mom was actually fucking, you
A
know, goddamn
baller.
Gypsy Rose Lee. Like she's Gypsy Rose Lee, and she's goddamn Rose, and like what's the musical Gypsy? She's that much of a stage mom. I didn't realize she was, you know, she was that kind of person, but now I know.
Well, I wouldn't say that. I mean, because let's face it, unlike what's her name? Madame Rose's daughter. I can't
I don't know.
now I don't even remember. I always wanted to be Miss Mazeppa, you know? Once I was a schlepper, now I miss Mazeppa with my revolution and dance. The point is, my mom wasn't so much Gypsy Rose Lee because that would require a daughter that didn't actually want to be on stage, and I did. So I think that's where the analogy ends.
I think it's hilarious. We're making all these musical references to all like the hard fucking horror chainsaw in the face fucking people, and assuming they're gonna get this, and like the only reason I know this is because I was in the musical as in a fucking high school. That's the only reason. But I don't watch musicals anymore.
I feel like I'm the gateway drug for people for into horror. Like I actually am a musical person. Like I actually know, believe it or not, musicals better than I know horror. And yet I obviously have this bridge into, you know, horror. I know it by virtue of you know, my time with American Horror Story and, you know, convention world and our
Well,
friendship. And
I'll tell you a funny story. Like one of the last times before COVID shut the whole world down, we went to the Alamo Draft House, which is like a very popular cinema here, and they had a thing called Angry Cats, where you could go see the Cats movie and you could talk to the screen, right?
Oh.
And so we chose in California, edibles are legal, or weed is legal. And so we took a bunch of edibles. I mean, and Naomi, myself, and my buddy went and saw this fine film. And I mean, fine film. It's a terrible film. But Naomi was like, we were so high, and Naomi was singing the songs to the screen, like she was standing up and singing because she's a musical person. And my girlfriend and I were like,
I was even stoned. I think I would have done that sober, Alok.
Well, we both were just like, oh my god, I'm so high. Can you shut up? Can you just shut up? Like,
but
and
we
started noticing all kinds of weird things in that movie where we're like, why this whole movie is racist? Why are they all racist against the black cats? Why are they racist against the black cats? You know, you're just so, and we started chanting racist, racist, and then the whole audience started chanting with us. And you know, that was the best way. That was the best way to see that movie, was like taking a lot of edibles and going to see it. But that was amazing. Anyway, sorry, we've gone so far off topic, I'm sure, here now. But did you finish your origin story, Naomi?
I think I was just in the my parents had just cut the umbilical cord, and they were starting to swaddle me. No, no, we were just talking about Taos and what a kind of, well, we were talking about my mom and how you'd never pegged her to be such such a stage mom. She's really not, but she is very unassuming, in that she's like 100 pounds soaking wet. And yes, she does think you can do better, Alok, and you can. Quite honestly,
she's very disappointed every time we come on these podcasts.
Before she was a piano teacher, she was an English teacher and a Spanish teacher and a French teacher and a German teacher. So she is a linguist.
Wow.
She believes in using your words. And the fact is, you know a whole lot more than just the F and the S and the C and the few that you use regularly.
By the way, this is also coming from a woman. Her mom has written, is an accomplished author who has written a very smutty book about her life and lovers post-divorce from Naomi's dad. And what is this book called again?
Coming of Age, Come Rain or Come Shine.
And it's spelled with a C-U-M, right?
No, it's not.
Oh, I thought it was
not. It's not.
I'm telling you, it is some fucking smutty ass shit.
Here's the thing.
And this woman is getting on my case about saying the F word, and she's writing about like just like getting like nailed by her boyfriend whose leg is broken, and who's fucking her with a broken leg on the cast.
Alok needs to read the book, and then actually this would be even better because
I just heard excerpts. I just heard excerpts from it in your one-woman show.
Is even crazier than he's describing.
Wow.
Actually, so he's actually butchering this because it's worse. It's worse than he's describing. But no, it is spelled Coming, C-O-M-I-N-G. It's her own coming of age story, if you will, post divorce from my dad. She would not call it a smut novel. She would call it her truths. But yes, knowing that she is an 84-year-old woman writing this book, like it's hard to there's a disconnect there.
And as a marketing person in a past life, I really would have suggested her to do the C-U-M-M I-N-G. I think it would have sold a lot more. And I mean, it could have been the next 50 Shades of Grey for all we know, right? I mean, it really could be. Just saying.
50 Shades of Grey pubes, maybe.
I mean, it's like 85 shades of being an old lady.
Well, good for her, though. Good for her. I mean, that's
85
awesome.
in December.
Wow. We have some people in the chat. Cataly's like, I'm going to go look that up right now.
Oh my God.
Please
What's the name? What's the name of the book again? I'm going to type that down.
Coming of Age, Come Rain or Come Shine by Martha Grossman. She would be so happy right now if she knew we were promoting it. She's very proud of this. She, I personally I'm a character in it, and I'm not exactly thrilled with how I've been interpreted. So I rarely tell these stories. I do not advocate reading this book. I don't like the way I read. Nor my father, nor my grandfather. Nobody's immune. We all look terrible in this book.
Everyone should read this book. Everyone should read this book. Is there a book on tape, Naomi? Is there an Audible? Is there an audio book for this? And if there's not, would you be willing to voice all the characters? Wait. Much as you wanted to voice all the characters in a 1BR movie, like Eddie Murphy from Coming to America or The Nutty Professor, would you then be willing to read all the characters in different kind of character voices for your mom's book?
No, she is literally the one person. She's the one money grubbing producer I would not do that for, because I couldn't. Like, it's so nasty. Like, how could I?
I will pay money for you to do that if you will do that. I'm gonna start a goddamn GoFundMe if you will do that.
Here's what's so sad. She would love nothing more than to know that we are talking about her book. We are promoting, we are selling books right here, right now.
Basically.
And yet I cannot share with her this podcast because you keep saying GD.
I think there's a lot worse things that are happening on this podcast than just that. You have to. You know what? I'm gonna share this with your mom. By the way, I'm gonna share it with her. You'll see. You'll see. Oh, Martha, you're gonna love it.
That's awesome. That's great. Usually
we can talk about other things besides SAG shit.
There we go. Yeah, I know. I was just like, oh my God, what are we going to talk about with that whole SAG? But hey, it's been a great conversation, very entertaining, and getting to know a lot more about the both of you and your mom.
And my mom.
That's great. Coming of age, rain or come shine?
Coming of age, come rain or come shine.
Coming of age, come rain or
Shine.
come shine.
Come shine.
The word come appears 3 times in the title alone.
Yes, it does. I'm looking at what I wrote down.
I'm telling you, if it all been CUM, whatever, it would have sold like 5 times more. I'm telling you, this could be a comedy like
it would have been triple X
masterpiece.
book.
Oh my God, this is amazing. Anyway, sorry.
But that was really awesome about your mom doing the box office and putting you on for shows right on the day. And sounds like she's very, very proud of you and
she is
your
very
career.
proud of me. And in fact, she's another reason why we're taking this one to Taos. You know,
Nice.
She lives there.
Yeah.
She's like, why not? There's an audience there. You need to prepare for New York. Like,
yeah.
You know, yeah, I mean, she's not wrong, you know?
Yeah. Is she going to be the box office again?
Oh, probably. I don't know that we'll put our phone number as the, you know, it's a new time. Nobody uses the phone in that way anyway.
No, not anymore.
We got a website and that's fine.
There you go.
But yeah, hilarious.
Well, that's awesome. I really enjoyed hearing about your one-woman show. And so you're doing everything yourself. The whole...
I mean, I have a team behind me. You know, I mean, we say one woman show, and obviously, like, there's a lot of people involved, actually. Right. But yeah, no, it's not. Believe me, when I go to these conventions and somebody's like, "Oh, what's that?" and they point to the DVDs of my prior solo shows, nothing brings me more joy. You know, it hurts my heart that people just want to buy this, you know, Pepper picture that I took, you know, I got copied at Kinko's for 20 cents a pop, whereas my one woman shows are something that like I birthed. They took, you know, 9 months to conceive, and yeah, essentially with the exception of my director, I pretty much wore all the hats. You know, whereas American Horror Story, let's face it, there's like a whole payroll full of people behind that success. It's not to diminish it.
Yeah.
It's just I can't take total responsibility for it, which I can in the case of my shows.
Yeah, because it's all you. I mean, obviously you have people behind you doing all the other ins and outs, but it's basically just you. And that's really awesome. It's probably very empowering as well. Going out and doing it all.
It is. Yeah, because again, when someone says, you know, I love that, I'm like, I did that.
Yeah.
Whereas like when people are like, I love American Horror Story, I'm like, oh yeah, you know, oh yeah, I grunted once in that episode. You know, it's like, it's not to minimize my involvement, but you know, I'm a cog in the wheel, let's face it. I mean,
exactly. And this is your baby.
We all are, actually.
Yeah.
Well, she's obviously appeared on American Horror Story like many different times.
Yes, she has.
Not just Pepper, but I think one of the fun episodes that she did was American Horror Stories as Rabid Ruth, and it was ironic because you know, I'm working on another project with Eduardo Sanchez, who did Blair Witch.
Mm-hmm.
And also Peter Polk, who's the executive producer of 1BR, but is also Ty West producer. So he's produced like, you know, X and, you know, the upcoming Maxine, and obviously, you know, everything from House of the Devil to Stakeland, or not Stakeland, sorry, that's a different thing. But anyways, he's done a ton of movies with Ty West, and so we're doing a project together. And so we were talking one day, and it's like, you know, and I knew Naomi was like, you know, working on a secret project she couldn't tell me about. And then all of a sudden, Eduardo was like, yeah, I got a secret project and come to LA to do this week. And I was like, wait a second, like Naomi said she was doing a thing this week, and Eduardo said he's doing a thing this week. So I made sure we all went out to tacos together, and we found out that indeed they were doing the same project together. So he got to kind of tell her like, look, I think you should go watch like Cannibal Holocaust.
Cannibal Holocaust?
Cannibal
Cannibal
Holocaust.
Holocaust.
to get ready for this, get prepared for this sort of thing or whatever. And so it was a really funny sort of, worlds crossing kind of thing.
Yeah.
Where they were able to, get together, and we went to tacos. We went back to Naomi's house to like go swimming and stuff, and it was fun. Good night.
Nice.
Well, I figure, who knows horror movies better than the director of Blair Witch? You know what I mean? He's like kind of a genius. And I knew in the case of this role, if you watch that show or that episode in particular, my character has been completely traumatized by like what she's seen. And so I was like, we've already established I'm more of a musical person than I am horror any day. So better like tell me what's the horror movie that I most need to see. If there's one horror movie that is gonna like penetrate my eyeballs and scar me forever, that's gonna like that I can draw upon in doing this role, what is it? And that was his choice. So
Cannibal Holocaust.
The other thing that was interesting about him, about Eduardo recently, is that they just did Satanic Hispanics.
Yes, that was awesome.
Which was so much fun.
Yes, five directors.
The whole one with the guy getting penetrated. Yeah, that was the best. And then it was also interesting is that first director, Argentinian director, Damien, I'm forgetting his last name, but that guy just did, I think, the fucking best movie of the year. When is it When or Where? When Evil Lurks, I want to say.
Yes, I believe it's When Evil Works. Yeah.
When Evil coming on Shudder next week, by the way. That it's the same guy that did Terrified, not to be confused with Terrifier.
Right, Terrified is that possession. Yeah, that was a good one too.
One of the best horror movies in years. That thing will scare the shit out of you during the daytime.
Yes,
right?
It would.
But When Evil Lurks is, I'm going to tell you right now, I've seen it twice in the theater. Naomi came with me one time to go see it because she loves Argentina so much. And so that's right now, as it stands right now, that's my favorite horror movie of the year. You can see it on Shudder, and when you go to Shudder to watch it, you can think about watching 1BR there, but go to Tubi instead so I can make some money.
Exactly. Go to Tubi.tv to watch 1BR. And I really like that information that you gave us about Tubi and the ads in there, because I had no idea. The people in my chat, they had no idea. They were just like, oh, that makes sense. Oh, yeah. So now we know a way to help.
Every single place that you go that you have to watch ads with the thing. I mean, I don't know about Hulu, to be honest, actually.
We don't get that here.
I don't know what Netflix's commercial version of them is.
I got rid of Netflix.
Deal is either. Yeah, I mean, I mean, we were number one on Netflix. Don't get me wrong. We were very happy for people to watch the film there. I just wish they would pay their filmmakers better. Really, that's the idea. But you make more money any place they show commercials generally.
Right.
For any things I mentioned, they're paying us a fair rate. So, please support independent horror by actually watching on there. The commercials are very small, actually. They're so quick, in fact, that you don't even have time to go to the bathroom a lot of times. Like, you just can't even do that. Because it's like a minute and a half worth of commercials, and they're like five commercials, and like, they're all 15 to 30 seconds at most, so they're pretty quick, and they don't come that often. I mean, they come probably about 22 if it's a very popular movie. But it's you don't notice it as much. I can just say that. So support independent film in that way if you can, and support independent.
Definitely, that's awesome to know.
In that way, yeah,
yeah, that is very awesome to know. Go ahead, Naomi.
And I don't want your horror fans watching thinking like, oh, Naomi only likes horror movies from Argentina. It's not like that. I just sort of slipped and fell in this horror hole. I don't know how it happened. I started as a musical theater person because that's all there was, other than, say, Father Dowling Mysteries in Denver, Colorado. And the Grossmans, Martha, we didn't watch horror movies. But now that I'm very much, in that world, hey, I'm all in now.
Yeah,
absolutely.
There's a whole
Argentinian or otherwise.
I mean, how good was that? How good was that movie, though? Come on.
Oh, it was great. Yeah, no, it was really fun.
Yeah,
great.
Oh, I love international horror. I went down a whole international horror rabbit hole. Went from Asian horror, found all these other different things online, and oh my god, yeah, there's so much horror.
The thing is, the economic situation in Argentina right now is so horrifying unto itself.
Oh
You don't
wow,
have to go to horror. Like you can
no,
just literally watch the news. Like they just had an election on Sunday and came this close to electing the biggest nut job. I mean,
oh
we're
wow.
talking makes American nut job look not so bad, if you can even imagine that.
Yeah.
So yeah, like, so yeah, I think that's the only thing is like there's so much horror out there, we don't
Oh
even have to look to horror movies.
no. They take you out of reality though. When you can sit there and watch a horror movie, you don't have to worry
For
about the crap
sure.
that's going on out there, and you can just like soak in the horrors on TV because they're
You know,
not real. Well, for the most
we
part.
we've been having I think a good year as
Oh
far as
yeah,
sort of mainstream horror is concerned. Like I thought the new Saw movie was great.
me
I
too.
thought I liked Cocaine Bear, it was a
It
guilty
was cute.
pleasure. Da, da, da. I mean there's been a lot of like fun stuff, and then in the independent scene, we're seeing a lot of really cool stuff. Like I said, Shutter, is
Hmm.
very well curated. What's that film that it's a Dutch film or a Danish film, and
Oh,
they're
oh, I know which one
they
you're talking about.
oh my god, that film. Oh, okay, God, it's gonna destroy me if I don't tell you the name of it.
You guys know the
But
film. We talked about it before. Can someone think of the name of it?
what is it?
Let
It's
the
about
right
the
one
guy.
in.
No, no,
No,
no, no,
no,
no,
no,
no.
no.
That's
It's a
really old.
newer one
It's
that came
something
out
more
in
recent.
2022ish.
Yeah, 22.
Um,
It was on my list last
oh
year for
my
like
god,
top 20
she
20
has a
best horror
kid.
movies or
Her
whatever.
and her husband are in the car.
Yeah,
They
yeah,
go
yeah,
meet
yeah,
this
yeah, yeah,
couple
yeah.
on vacation. This couple
Yes,
invites them back.
that's
Oh my god,
exactly
I
the
can't
movie.
remember the name of it.
They're actually making an American remake of that, by the way. I don't
I
know
think
the
it's
thing
gonna
about
lose a
that.
lot of its. It's gonna lose a lot of
You
its
know what? I
creepiness. I
don't know because
think.
I think that it kind of that horror, that creeping horror, and how rude they are, and the whole thing is almost
Yeah.
universal.
Oh, that is
And so
universal. That's definitely
yeah, I mean, I
speak no
think it
evil.
will.
Thank you, Kat.
Yes, yeah. Speak no evil. That is a high recommendation movie. That I was thinking about that for days. Like I
Yeah,
was so troubled by that film. I really was troubled by that film.
it's
Which
it's
people
there.
say about which people say about 1BR, by the way.
Mhm.
Sometimes,
Well, it is.
you think about it for days.
Well, you do, and that stuff actually happens in real life. To me, it was like a cult.
Yeah,
They
no,
brought you in, they molded you, they made you, they stripped you of everything of who you are to make you into somebody they want you to be. And if you don't do that, well, then there goes your life. You're like dead. Um, I to me, cults happen all the time. We have a whole bunch of them still, and that was just
well,
like, wow.
we're so Southern California actually. So our writer director David Marmer has said this thing I'm going to tell you guys now many times, and it's a thing when he moved to LA. It's a big city, but it's actually weirdly a lonely city, right? Like you get in your car, you go to work, you're by yourself. It's not there's more public transportation now than there was, but I think 15 years ago when he wrote the script, like he was just like he moved to LA. He didn't know anybody. He hadn't found his circle of friends, and so a lot of people move here. There's a lot of people coming out here to seek things. There's a lot of seekers that come to Los
Yep.
Angeles, right? Whether they be trying to seek employment as an actor or in the industry or whatever else. And these people come from, like, I don't know, Denver, Colorado, like this one over here, and they're like the big fish in that little pond, and they come out here and they realize there's like 20 of you, and you're only getting older every day that you don't make it, right? So they look to something else to kind of find some sort of solace or sort of, like, I don't know, some sort of validation, if you will. And it's a lot of times like Scientology or other
Yeah.
said cults, and the sort of group that this may be sort of like, it's an amalgam obviously of a bunch of different things. You can tell with the question they're giving her at one point that that's very Scientology-esque in some
Yeah.
way. They try to monitor you. They make you hold these sticks for giving your bio whatever readings and stuff like that, and they try to like get intimate information on you, so they have
Yeah.
that against you if it need be. But the cult that it's very similar to, it has sort of a nice chunk of sort of representation, is Synanon. And it was a drug and alcohol rehab cult that became a cult. They were a rehab thing. They started a rehab thing. And then what happened was that they, I mean, the government would send people to these people, right?
Yeah.
And they kind of went through this evolution where they went from like trying to help people in that regard. They were still helping them, but they kind of came to a place where like, you can never be cured and you need to stay with us forever is the idea.
Right.
And so they got to another stage where they moved up north from Los Angeles to like Marin County, and they shaved their heads and everything. And what they there was a plucky young filmmaker making named George Lucas making his first movie, THX 1138, and it required quite a lot of bald extras in the movie. Guess who those extras were? They were the people from Synanon. So they were in that movie. And then there were a couple of murders that happened and stuff. And there was like a movie of the week and all this good stuff on NBC back in the day. Movie of the week was a big thing. That's how old I am, or we are. Not you, Naomi. You're always young and girlish.
Remember, I came here as a baby.
That's right. Yeah, that's right. You were swaddled. Anyway, so the point though being that it was a movie of the week, and there was like 2 people killed and all this good stuff. So they made a movie about it actually. Point is though, this is Southern California. This is like a breeding ground of cults because there are egos that need those to be validated, right? And so that's why I think Southern California is very popular for those kinds of things.
Yeah.
And that's why we, when we made this movie, it seems very true to life for a lot of people, because they're just like, oh my gosh, like I've seen that building 100 times. I've never seen anybody go in and out of that building. I've never seen like, and people don't talk to each other normally. Right, your neighbors usually don't talk to you.
No.
So when they do talk to you, it's highly suspicious. So,
they're trying to get me.
Yeah, I mean, no, there was an acting class, and I knew some kids in that they used to like. Part of their thing was that, okay, you're in this acting class, it's great. Well, you also got to go to Scientology now, because if you're doing this, we know casting directors, whatever. You just got to like become part of us in that way, and then we'll make sure you have success. And weirdly, some of those kids did become very successful. Weirdly, it does work. You know?
Yeah, it can, right?
Yeah, but that's the thing about Southern California. Going back to just the main point of it is that we are very, we have a lot of cults here, and there's a reason for it. You know.
Yeah, and I can definitely see that. I know we're coming up on our time, and I want to respect both of your time. So this is not telling you to go, you have to go right now. But if you need to, you can. If you want to stay on and chat a little longer, you're more than welcome to. I know Naomi is busy.
I mean, I don't. How much longer are you gonna go?
I usually just let it roll until my guests are like, okay, we're.
Alok will talk to you
forever.
Yeah. 26 years are going to go by and you're still going to be talking to him. Literally what happened to me.
There'll be a skeleton.
A minute ago,
skeleton.
97, and now I've, gray pubes later. Here we are.
I mean, I know you have a dinner, darling. Do you want to take off there?
I do, but no, I mean, I don't want to.
I booked this
talk
for an
about
hour.
me if I leave.
I can stay on a little longer, and maybe they can even like show a 1BR trailer or something. I'm just saying.
Oh.
Yeah, I know. I booked an hour, and I want to respect.
Should go so that you can do that, and I can't be.
Party to the SAG, restriction.
Wash my hands of anything AMPTP.
Yes, there you go.
Money grubbing producers. That's what that stands for. Money grubbing producers.
All right. Well, listen, thank you so much for having me. I appreciate it. And
it was my honor.
Thank you, Alok, for being the SAG whisperer.
The SAG whisperer,
SAG interpreter.
Interpreter.
Yes. Right.
Thank you.
I was hoping that at some point we'd be interrupted by some sort of notification that the strike is over.
Ah, that would be nice.
Yeah. I just really want to be Wednesday Addams on next
on Halloween.
I mean, yeah, the fact is I've who doesn't have a black dress?
Right.
And I mean, who doesn't have a hand in their closet? I know I do.
I've got a couple.
Would you be the Jenny Ortega Wednesday Addams, or would you be the
Christina
what am
Ricci
I forgetting? Christina Ricci,
or the original?
or the
Right.
original,
Or the original. Well, seeing how old I am, I'd probably be the original.
And
She
now,
just died this week, or not this week, this year, actually.
yeah, she did. Yeah, she passed
Yeah,
away
I knew
earlier this
her.
year.
We go to Comic-Cons together.
Yeah, very sad. Definitely. Thank you very much, Naomi, for coming on and taking the time out of your busy day. I really appreciate it. I wish I was able to ask you more questions, but maybe after this whole thing is done, I might be able to steal you back on.
Absolutely, absolutely, and maybe we can do it without Alok, so I can let my mom watch.
Oh, there you go as well.
I'm showing your mom this video, by the way. I'm going to send it to her. Martha knows me. I can get to Martha. Just so you
Bleep
know.
yourself out.
I can make it. I'm my own one woman show here. I don't even have anybody helping me at all. So I do all my editing. I do all of my own stuff. I'm independent.
You're gonna have to edit out every other word that he says, and then yes, you'll be quite happy.
I can edit
look,
and
she's gonna be happy that you
talked
about her book. She's gonna be happy you talked about her book. She doesn't give a shit about what I'm saying about shit and shit and shit. Like she doesn't give a shit about that. I guarantee you this. Probably. Beep 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 beep.
That's awesome. But if anybody is here watching and you're in the States and you're going to be around in the you said it's coming out to New York, your one woman show is going to New York and New Mexico.
Yes. Check out, well, you can, follow me on the socials, Naomi W. Grossman.
I have all of your socials to put out there for everybody.
Yep, I'm verified, so you'll know that's me. Except on Twitter, they took that check mark away, and that's fine. Not paying for that. But yes, if folks go to just the website for the show, AmericanHorrorStory.com,
AmericanHorrorStory.com.
click on Get Ticks, and you'll see not only you'll be able to get tickets for New Mexico if you happen to be there, or off Broadway in New York. And I also, like I said, I've just introduced some new merch, which is perfect for the holidays coming up. If you've got a horror story fan or Pepper lover in your on your good list. And I also have like an NFT collection I've launched to help support the show, which is really fun. I do a weekly Pepper Approves podcast myself. So if people want to check out my socials on Wednesday about this time, I'm on there. So yeah,
and
got all kinds of things going on.
You do cameos as well, right?
Well, sure, yeah, of course. What actor doesn't?
I mean, no, I'm saying. I mean, that's like a fun one, I think, to get you for. Would you do a cameo of reading your mom's book? Would you do that?
Alok, if you want to go on Cameo and spend the $29.99 or whatever it is to have me read you sections, I will do that.
Oh my gosh, this is like so fascinating. I think we know the next thing for like Twitter for what we're gonna do.
Listen, here's the thing: you're my dear friend, and technically, I should do that for you for free, but I will not. That will cost you $29.99, and not
I got a hot 100. I got a hot 100 that says I'm gonna get 3 parts of that book. That's gonna be awesome.
Oh my god! Time to up my price on Cameo.
Oh, I'm gonna put it right now. I'm gonna put it right now. You can't change it.
That's
funny.
Bye, dear.
All right, thanks, you guys. I'm sorry. I have dinner plans with my cousin who's in town. His father is also a character in the book. Very unhappy with his interpretation. This is like literally a thing. This is a thing in our family. Like all of my mom's siblings spent like years angry with her for what she, said about our family. And so if I were to tell him, I'm sorry, I'm late, I've been promoting my mother's book on the internet.
Yeah.
I will never, ever like this. I'm literally trying to save the Grossman name right now.
I feel like we could do a staged reading of this book. and make a lot of money off of it.
Probably.
It's in the show, dude. You saw it.
I know, but I'm actually saying, like, beyond just a little part that it gets in the show, like, just take it and make it its own spin-off and make it a whole thing.
I
Like,
love how he hasn't even read the book and he's already plotting the spin-off.
Yep.
I mean, this is such a genius idea. I'm sorry. This is why I'm a producer. Yeah. So there you are.
Money.
All right, guys.
Thank you again. I appreciate it. Have a great supper.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
See you, doll.
And we'll
all right, now that she's out of the way.
Oh, let me fix your camera here. Hold on.
Okay.
Because it messes up the oh, I'm just gonna recapture.
Should I get out and in it real quick, or?
Nope, you're good. I'm just gonna recapture. It's because the way Zoom puts everybody.
Mm-hmm.
You know? Oh, there's all my notes. I always have my notes. Well, we're going to actually showcase the trailer for 1BR. For those of you that haven't seen 1BR, we are going to show that right here. I know YouTube isn't going to like it. YouTube always dings me when I show any kind of trailer, independent film or not. YouTube always gets a little angry with me. But it's okay. It's okay. We're going to show that. And then we'll talk more about 1BR. Because now we can talk about it. Unfortunately, that whole SAG
while the trailer's playing, can I go grab something?
Go for it. Do whatever you need to do. We're gonna play the trailer, and
I'm gonna come right back.
Yep, sounds good. All right, guys, we're gonna check out. Let's see, where is this? Where is my trailer? Did I delete it by accident? I might have. Give me a second. I'm actually going to do... No, I didn't do it. I think it's around here. So many window captures. There we go. There it is. There it is. All right. Maybe on YouTube you can go in and edit. YouTube just hates it when I utilize their own trailers. But this is 1BR, guys. If you haven't checked out the movie, I'm going to highly recommend it. This is the trailer.
Haven't you been getting my calls?
I've been busy.
When are you coming home?
I'm staying.
They put that system in a few years ago after a break-in. Don't worry. Neighborhood's a lot safer now.
I just moved here. I don't really know anyone.
What brought you to LA?
Trying to start a new life.
Missed one here. Any pets?
No.
You got it. We're neighbors. Hey, listen, we're having a barbecue. You should come.
Welcome.
We like to make this place feel like a real neighborhood.
And we all kind of take care of each other here.
Does the plumbing do that every night?
Do what?
So tired all the time. Do you hear that noise?
I don't hear anything very well anymore.
You think I'm crazy?
What are you doing?
Run! Run! Help! I need help!
How could you do this?
I just want to go. Please. Please, I just want to go home.
This is your home.
Yeah, that movie, it's creepy. I thought it was good. I thought it was very well made. I enjoyed the film. Like I said, I watched it today for the 4th time.
There are a
Right.
lot of people that get different things out of it, like the second time or even the third time and stuff like that. There's a drinking game some people play where if you sadly look for me in the movie, you will find me in the movie.
Oh, now I'm gonna have to.
Yeah, I mean, I'm all over. Sadly, my producing partner and myself, like, what happened? We'd be sitting at like Video Village, and we would always like we had, we were poor. We didn't have any money for extras, and then we'd get our friends and family, and invariably they would disappoint us because they're like, I just can't get over the hill. That 405 is a mess. I'm not coming. And so we'd be sitting there, and then they'd be like, okay, Alok and Shane, you get in there. We need some extra bodies. And I was like, come on, man. I'm trying to act like I'm a real producer. I'm sitting here at like Video Village, and they're like, are you wearing shirts with logos on it? Why the hell are you wearing shirts with logos on it? It's because I think I'm not going to be in the movie because I want to be a real producer. Like, fuck you. So invariably they'd be like, oh, we have a black t-shirt for you. Go ahead, get in there. All right, fuck you. And so you'll see us like all over the place. We actually are, I think we're billed as movers number 1 and number 2. And then
okay.
some of the other producers that are in the movie that are actually David Marmer's managers, our writer director. He's named lurker number 1. So Allard Cantor is his name.
Okay.
Him and Jared Murray are his David's managers, and so yeah. Jared wasn't there during the filming because he's on his honeymoon in Thailand or something. But Allard was there, and he was lurker number 1. He's always lurking. He's always lurking around the corner, looking at shit. Yeah. So we're there. Like,
That's
one of my
awesome.
good friends at the very beginning is carrying this big laundry bag, laundry basket, and then my producing partner Shane goes and helps him with it.
Okay.
And so the guy that's carrying the laundry basket is laundry guy number 1. And so we make fun of him, saying like he was like basically the building pervert, and he'd always like smell panties and do weird shit or whatever. And that's why he's punished in doing the community's laundry, because he's like
right.
so perverted and stuff. That's the instruction we gave him to get motivated to understand his motivation for carrying the laundry. We told him this backstory, so now you know.
That's his backstory. Yes, another little secret.
Yeah. Exactly.
That's awesome. I don't know if
everyone's like, it's so funny. Like, everyone's like, you see these the very beginning of the movie, you see this older couple with this pregnant woman, and they're waving and stuff. No. So it's an older guy with a pregnant lady and then another dude, and that's David Marmer's dad, right?
Oh, okay.
And that pregnant lady was his wife. And the funny thing is, when we shot the movie in 2017, she had the baby like right after we finished.
Oh, wow.
And so we went back and did reshoots in August of 2018. She'd already had the baby, so we had to get her a fake belly to shoot that scene again.
Yeah.
To reshoot that scene. So yeah, I mean, you see his parents like sitting on like a walkway at one point. You see my nephew; he's one of the kids in the classroom or whatever.
Oh, okay.
You see Shane's daughter. There's a time where they're walking by the pool, a bunch of kids and stuff, and his daughter's in that scene. Like we tried to get in. Like, we don't want to spend money. Money grabs
Right.
producer. We want to spend money for extras. And the funny thing is that the whole movie shot the parts that were in the apartment complex. It's a working apartment complex.
Oh.
And so we had people that were just like, "Can I be in this movie?" I'm like, "Hell yes, you can be in this movie. So just sign right here. So you're not getting paid. Just sign right here." Like,
Right.
You got three or four more extras, right? I mean, come on now. Like,
yeah, that's awesome.
Independent filmmaking right there.
Yeah, that really is. We had a question in chat from Cataly. She was wondering if you're able to speak about the budget. What was your budget for this film?
It's a SAG ultra low budget, which depending at the time, I think it's gone up to like $330 now, $340.
Okay.
But when we did it, it was approximately like $250 something. You could go a little higher with certain things being considered for like marketing and stuff like this.
Right.
But But really, it was just about that amount of money. So that's the budget level it was at.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
I thought it was very well made. Couldn't tell that it was a smaller budget film.
Well, we pulled a lot of favors. I'll say that too. You know, it was the thing where the sound, like sound in a horror movie, is so super important.
Yes, it is.
And my my high school friend, who became my college roommate later, was in the cinema school at USC, and he later became his name is Jason George, and he became a sound editor, sound mixer. He works on much bigger movies than ours. Like he'll work on like 21 Jump Street 1 and 2, and then he'll work on Alice in Wonderland. He'll work on like, whatever. Blacklist. He's been on that show for years. I think it's ending now, whatever.
Yeah.
But he, like, that man didn't take a dime, and like we're gonna pay him eventually, but it hasn't gotten to that point where the investors have completely been paid back yet, or I mean us.
Right.
So we're almost there. We're almost there. I think this year we'll get there. So yeah, I mean, being opening in COVID really hurt us in a big way, because we didn't get to have any sort of theatrical opening, which I'm sure we would have made some money off of, maybe even made whole altogether if we'd had that opening. But it opened in April of 2020, unfortunately.
Yes.
So
I know it has a release date of 2019, but it came out in 2020.
What IMDb does, for example, is they put whatever when you had your premiere is technically your release date.
Yeah.
So we had our premiere in July of 2019 at Fantasia, your the most amazing genre festival in the world, besides Citrus, but they are your Canadian brothers and sisters in Montreal. And it really is, it is like a tastemaker, like amazing festival. Like I said, like between Citrus and them, they're always battling for like who's the number one. It's like Harvard and Stanford. Like, who's going to be number one this year? It doesn't matter. You're both Harvard and Stanford. It doesn't make a difference.
Exactly.
Right? But then, besides that, though, I mean, obviously, Toronto, Midnight Section, Toronto.
Yeah.
Peter Ploxy. He's a programmer. I'm not saying his name right. But he's a genius, too. Like, he always programs, like, probably the most amazing Midnight Section of any festival. Better than so many others, I can tell you that. I feel. But
yeah,
your Canadian brothers and sisters.
Yes, that's awesome. What, besides COVID being a challenge for the film, was there anything that you found challenging getting done in the film?
Well, I mean, Movie Maker magazine let me write a article about this. So if you really want to know how horrible things got, you can go read that. But I'll tell you just the quick points from that article. Were we lost most of our entire cast. We were shooting on a Thursday, and on a Monday we lost our Sarah character.
Oh wow.
Nicole Bryden Bloom wasn't originally the part.
Oh.
We lost the Miss Stanhope character, and we lost the Brian character in one day.
Holy.
And the reason this happened is that we had Nicole Bryden Bloom was our first choice. I'll just say that, right? Then this other more seductive actress came in, who is like a lead of a television show. I can't tell you where, but she was like, she had like 3 million Instagram followers. Shit like this stupid shit, right? Like you have to. This is what you have to pay attention to as a producer now.
Oh.
Is like, well, she's got 3 million Instagram followers. If just like 5% come see this movie, we're in the black. MoneyGram and producer, So we had to basically corner David and be like, look, you just got to make it work with her. Like, she's gonna be fine. We'll fly you up to whatever godforsaken place in like Canada she's shooting her show, and it was Vancouver. But no, we'll fly you up there, work with her. You're gonna make it work. And he got to a place where he was really comfortable with her. He's like, oh, this is great. But meanwhile, like, I mean, this poor thing, I think she was young and she just didn't realize the repercussions of her actions, where she'd signed papers with us. Everything was, good. And then, the Monday before the Thursday we're shooting, she's like, well, I'm out. And we're just like, what the fuck do you mean you're out? Like, I'm in a Gelson's getting a feminine energy drink for you per your writer. Cause you don't have like minions to do this when you don't have any money. Right. So I had gone to the Gelson's at Marina Del Rey, pick up this energy drink, and I can never say the name of the energy drink, because they literally sent us a pallet of this energy drink, but it wasn't going to get there until 2 days into production. So I was like, well, we need to get something for her. So I looked up this drink. One fucking grocery store in LA had it. So I drove to Marina Del Rey. I'm picking up the drink. And while I'm picking up the drink, I'm like, we got a case. Is that enough? Like I asked the like manager guy, I'm like, can you go look in the back if there's any more? He's like, I don't think there is, but like I'll go look. And while we're waiting for him to go do that, we get a call from her manager agent, like she's out. And we're like, what the dude? I just mortgaged and already paid off house to fucking make this movie. You know, this is the kind of shit we're going through in our heads. So he comes back and is like, I found another case. And I'm like, we don't need it. so we go to the bar next door to immediately have a drink and just figure this out. And the mistake we made, and this is a lesson to anyone making a film, is if you do get this high profile actress, do not let her convince you to hire her friend or maybe alleged boyfriend. We don't know. I say alleged. We have no idea. But I mean, I suspect, who knows? Who goes to bat that hard for somebody, you know? The movie was being shot over like kind of Christmas is the thing too, because then you can actually get things cheaper. Money goes to the producer. Less than number 404. So what happened was that this guy drops out too, like almost immediately. And we're just like, fuck you, dude. You're on some fucking CW vampire show that I've never fucking watched. Fuck you, you know. So I can't say what it is. Anyways,
no, you're good.
Long story short, we thought if he was good enough for the CW, he'd be good enough for us, right? And you know, he had a nice Instagram following, and hasn't worked very much recently. So sorry, karma. On the other hand, the girl, the young lady has actually she's failed upwards her entire career. Amazing. Like, I mean, she's just done so well. Crazily well. Like,
nice.
But I can't say she is. But what happens is that those two drop out. We're in the bar drinking something just to settle our nerves and figure out what we're gonna do next. And then we get a call. The woman that was supposed to play Miss Stanhope, her husband has collapsed and rushed to the hospital.
Oh, no.
He's dead. And so we're like, fuck, she's out too. And so now we're scrambling. We go to Nicole, and Nicole says yes, she can do it, but she can't get there till Friday. So we pushed the whole movie back from starting on a Thursday to starting the next Monday. Now we're like looking for crazy for all the other parts, right?
Mm-hmm.
And Nicole gets into LA on Friday, and I'll say that she literally was so young, I had to pick her up, and I took her to the rental car place to rent her car. And she's like, oh, driving, this should be fun. Like, I don't really drive, and da-da-da. And like, you have a license. She's like, yeah, well, I drive. I just don't drive very often. And I'm like, can we get the extra insurance for her? Like, let's just do that. Let's just do that. You know, so we do that. And then also Friday morning, I'm sitting there looking for the older lady actress, and I get a reel that has a number at the end of it. Like, I'm looking at IMDb or something, and I look at this reel, and I'm like, okay, she seems great. Let me call her, and I'm thinking I'm gonna get her agent or manager, and I get her. I get Susan Davis, who plays Miss Stanhope, and I'm like, look, I thought this was gonna be agent or manager. It's highly inappropriate, but I'm gonna pitch you the movie, and I'm gonna pitch you us. And she's like, oh, and by the end of it, she's like, oh, that's very interesting. I've never been in a cult movie before. And she'd done like Darren Boozman movies and stuff. So she likes horror. She likes horror, but she's just like, okay, I think I will do this. And I'm like, good. You know, like, so this is at 9:30 in the morning, and like 11 o'clock, we signed her. Now we're sitting around, it's Friday night, and we still don't have the Brian character. And we're at Barney's Beanery, and we're drinking again, because, you know, it's what you do. But we were trying to call our friends at like Blumhouse, like we knew their head of post-production, Philip Daw, is a friend, and we were like asking him, begging him to like, hey, call CAA and just find out if they have anybody, and also then make them stay open late, because we need to sign somebody. Like, we need to do something like this night. Like, we're starting on Monday, it's Friday. I don't know how the fuck we're gonna get people, because, you know, those agents are just like, their weekends are very personal to them. Like, they don't want to work. So we figure out, we finally get a call like at 7:30, and it's Gersh agency, and it's basically Giles Maddie has said yes, and we're like, well, what took him the whole day? Like, we sent that to him in the morning. He's just like, I have so much luxury of time, I don't want to have a job, you know. So what happened was he was driving down from San Francisco, pulled over the side of the road. read his part on his phone, just his part. Actually, he didn't even read the whole script, and he said yes. And we're like, I guess we're shooting a movie Monday. Like, I mean, yes, I think we're good, and thankfully it all turned out really well. Like, I mean, it turned out well enough that that we got everything happened for a reason, and the good things happened because we got the right cast, and the cast was lovely. Like, I mean, actual shooting was pretty nice, except for the next thing I'm going to tell you, where we had basically a stolen truck, like the 7th or 8th day of production, that was involved with a televised high-speed chase, which we actually show the end of that high-speed chase, where we call it the handsome felon. This dude gets arrested out of this truck. He's part of a truck stealing ring.
Oh, wow.
And what had happened was that we had parked the trucks in front of our office, and this office is like in Brentwood. It was David's manager's office, and we kept that. There's 3 trucks. We kept the parking PA in the second truck, the middle truck, and these guys pull up in a white Escalade, no plates. 3 of them get out, break into the truck, and they're off with the truck in like 7 minutes.
Wow.
What they don't know is we have a guy in the middle truck who then gets into his own car and then gives chase, low-key chase, to them, and is on the phone with the police. And the police are just like, you gotta back down, sir. We'll take care of it. And he's like, I'm not backing down until you apprehend these thieves. I don't know why. I don't know why he has a British accent. But anyway, long short though is that they capture this guy, and it's all on television. And actually, if you buy the U.S., I think Canada as well, the Blu-ray.
I'll have to see if we have it here.
I'll just say the U.S. Blu-ray to be safe.
Yeah.
But if there's the Fantasia interview that's on there that we then show the aftermath of this chase and the arrest of the handsome felon.
Oh, wow.
And so you get to see that on there on the Blu-ray. I'm sad it doesn't have any commentary and whatever else. Hopefully one day we'll have it. But if you really are you really want to see the handsome felon, you better go get that
the Blu-ray in the United States. I'm gonna look for the Blu-ray. We don't get a lot of that here, especially independent films.
It's definitely there in the States.
Yeah.
The only other one I would recommend buying is the Italian one. The Italian one, which you can has the most beautiful artwork. They made some cool artwork for that.
Oh, wow.
That I bought a couple of those because I think they'll be collector's items one day, especially when the sequel comes out. And I'll also say,
yes,
there is a album, the only press of the music that is only 100 made.
Oh,
that they still have, like, I think 20 of that they're still selling on Bandcamp.
Oh yeah, I know Bandcamp.
If you go one Tuesday, it's either the first or fourth Tuesday, you can get a discount of some kind. But it's a very limited. We didn't do any tchotchkes for this movie,
right?
But we did go ahead because we thought that the soundtrack was really beautiful. Ronan Landa, who did the music for it, we all put up some money and made sure we had an album for it, and it has all the album things on it. It has something on the side of it. I forget what they call it. I'm not an album person, but yeah, it's definitely a collector. I think it'll be a collector's item in the future,
oh yeah,
for sure.
It definitely will be.
There's only 100 made. Like we're not
So go get one.
I mean, go get one if you want one. Like, I'm not making any money off it, I can tell you that. But you'll hopefully make some money off of it yourself. And you also get a digital copy with it, I want to say.
Oh, okay.
That has even more songs on it. So you don't even have to open up the album itself. You can just keep the album digital as a collector's item and just play the digital all you want, unless you are such a purist that you need to. But so those are the 2 horrible things that happened. We also had some horrible fires that occurred, but that's not worth going into.
Yeah.
Just you go read the article. It's like a 5-minute read.
Will.
I think it's kind of funny.
I like learning about behind the scenes stuff, things that happen. Giles, isn't Giles the cat's name?
Giles.
Giles.
Both the cats.
Giles.
Both the cat's name and Giles Maddie's name too, who plays Brian.
Yes, Brian.
The funny thing, so Brian is hilarious. We just had drinks a couple weeks ago. He's English, but he's in the States right now.
Yeah.
And so I'm trying to get together Taylor Nichols, who plays Jerry, and then Clayton Hoff, who plays what am I blanking on the name for? The one-eyed guy. What am I?
Yes, I know. I can't.
Lester.
Yeah.
So we're gonna get together and have some beers. That's what we're gonna do. We
nice.
Decided a couple weeks ago we're trying to get together. But the funny thing about Giles the cat and Giles Maddie is that we would prank Giles Maddie. We would call him up because we had this cat, right? This cat was incredibly expensive, right? It's like, I don't know, a bunch of money a day. And that cat would fucking get it right on the first take every single time. Like that cat was fucking, we called him one take Giles, right? So we bring Giles Maddie out, but hey, come to set. He come to set and be like, hey, look, see that fucking cat over there? Cat's name is Giles. We call that fucking cat one take Giles. What the fuck happened to you? Like that. But Giles Maddie, and actually, this is a joke. He is an amazing actor. I mean, he gets it in one take. He can get it one take. He can cry. He can do whatever. Like, I mean, between him and Nicole, it was like a crying contest to see who could like cry even more perfectly. Because she'd get everything in one take too, and be like, wait, I think I can make the tear fall on that line. And we're like, fucking serious? Like, yeah, let me just do it. And I'm like, and then she's like, she's a fucking crazy superstar. Like,
that's awesome.
Yeah, she was amazing. She's gonna be on The Gilded Age season 2. It's starting on HBO, I think this Saturday.
Oh, okay.
Is that right? It's the 29th. What is the date today?
Today's the 24th.
Yeah, 29th. So yeah, this Sunday I think it starts.
Nice.
So I think I gotta. Is it dark right now to you? The way I look?
It's a little dark. Did the sun go down?
Yeah, I can turn the light on real quick.
It's up to you if you want.
Okay, let me go do this real quick. Sorry.
I hope everyone's having a good night. I hope you're enjoying the show. You guys have any questions now, you guys can ask. I know earlier with SAG-AFTRA strike, it's really hard to ask Naomi questions, but you guys can ask questions.
I can answer the questions if you want.
There we go.
Her very well.
There we go. So if there's any questions, you can feel free to ask. I do have one. You know, the role of Pepper. She has and I have a horrible time saying this word, microcephaly, however it's pronounced. Do you know how she prepared her role for that?
Well, I mean, she does everything she does an extensive amount of research for it, and she watched a lot of videos and a lot of like historical, there's a lot of stuff about the actual people there's sort of it's based off of and stuff from like Freaks and different like movies like this. And so she did a lot of research and obviously very respectful in her portrayal.
Oh, very, very respectful
of what it is. I mean, I think nowadays it would be hard to like, I mean, maybe they wouldn't let her play that role. They'd have to find an actual person, or whatever it is, who has like a mild version or mild grade version of something else that's I guess what's the word I'm looking for here? A handicap. I mean, but she did not know when she got the role what it was going to be. Like she lied about kind of her height a little bit, and then they were just like they liked her portrayal of it, and then I was at a party, like a birthday party, we were like at a Thai restaurant, and there was like a big column of beer or something like that, like they do at like certain Thai restaurants. And I was like, dude, you shaved your head, Naomi. What the hell is this about? And she's like, can't say anything about it. Like, all right. Okay, Naomi, whatever, dude. Like, do I want to know? Like, it's not a porn. It's not a porn thing, right? Like, no, it's not a porn. No, she never did porn. I'm just making a joke. But like, long short though. Well, I'll tell you a funny story. She was telling me that Giles Maddie, who only read his part of the script, right? They do this often. Actors do this often because they want to make sure that they're not in a porn or a snuff film. Like that's the reason they just read their part up there in like a bit of a hurry and so that was an interesting thing to learn from my end. But no, she showed up and I was just like, holy shit, like this is crazy. And then all of a sudden this like American Horror Stories season 2 came on, and I'll tell you what, every time she's on that show, in any capacity, she is the number one looked up person on IMDb.
Yeah,
she gets to number one. I've seen like the trophies in her house, like just like every time she's gotten to number one, they send her like a little thing or whatever.
Oh wow!
And it's like crazy because no one can believe that she, who looks beautiful obviously in real life, is made up in such I think award-winning makeup to look like that.
Yeah, you wouldn't notice if you didn't know. Like if it didn't
Yeah.
have credits and say, "Oh, this was so and so," you'd be like, "Oh, what the hell is
Well, the other
that?"
thing too is funny is that you always see like when you're scrolling through CNN or something, you get to the bottom of it and there's like, can you believe that this actress looks like this? So, you see that like clickbait kind of shit, and then
Yep.
you click on it, and then she's like 50 in or something. Like, fuck you, I'm not gonna get fooled by you again. so yeah, but she's on that shit a lot too. So it's interesting.
Yeah, that's great. I liked watching her in American Horror Story. It's where I actually seen her portrayal of Pepper, and then I seen her in 1BR, and I'm just like, oh, that's Pepper.
She looks very different, obviously, but beautiful
Oh,
nonetheless.
very different. And she looks different from when she played Janice in her role there to what she looks like right now. Her hair was a hell of a lot shorter.
Well, it looks a little different, actually. I don't want to give away too much in terms of the actual bad stuff that we did that wasn't good looking in the film, but we did have to do some reshoots. And the funny thing is, when we did the reshoots in like it was end of August, beginning of September 2018, it just so turned out that Naomi Grossman had been nominated for an Emmy. And so like I was like, I hate to tell you this, like the week of the Emmys, when like you should be doing like you should be shining and you should be like going to all the parties and the gifting suites and everything like that. We need you for like 3 days. Come back to our shitty little movie that doesn't pay you anything. So she was just like, if it was anybody else. I was like, all right. So she came back actually.
That's good.
In fact, I had to go pick up her mom from the airport because again, no one else to do that. Like while she was shooting, to bring her to her trailer and stuff, and so and that's when I got the lecture of how I could be better. One of the lectures, I'm sure.
No cursing.
Yeah, you just need to be better. Look, I just know you're a smart guy. I'm like, you can choose your words better, and I'm like, thank you, Mrs. Grossman. Fuck you, Martha. No. I'm kidding, Martha. If you ever watch this, I love you. But anyway, so there we are.
Yeah.
At some point, it's gonna happen. I'm gonna make sure she watches this, by the way, because this is gonna be.
It'll
hilarious.
be on. It'll be on YouTube. It'll be everywhere.
I have her number because I had to pick her up from the airport, and I'm gonna send it to her.
Yeah, I should be happy that we spoke about her book.
Oh my God, she should be told. She's probably sold like 10 copies by now. Who knows?
Probably. People love those things.
She talks about it in her one-woman show, Naomi does.
Yeah.
And it's pretty smutty. Like, I mean, there's some smutty shit in there. Like, talk about clitorises and I don't know. You're gonna see. You'll see.
Yeah, I'm actually planning on looking for the book. I know there's a few people in my chat that are looking for the book.
Oh, you're gonna find it. I mean, hopefully it's still in print. I mean, maybe it's a collector's item or something.
And it could be. I'm a huge collector, so I do buy the one-off things that people aren't normally buying and hold on to them, and then soon they blow up.
I'm telling you, buy that album. See what happens.
Yeah, I'm going to go to Bandcamp.
That is the only tchotchke that we have. And it's not really a tchotchke. I mean, it's a nice like pressed album and everything, and it looks very beautiful. And it has whatever thing on the side. There's a word for it. Like
I don't know the word for it.
Yeah.
I collect albums too. I have a whole bunch here. I have Elvira's Haunted Hills, Tales from the Crypt, the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and the Texas Chainsaw Massacre game album. I have a whole bunch.
Oh.
But
awesome.
I don't know what the hell that side thing is either.
It's called like not a writer. It's called like some.
Yeah.
Weird, I don't know. I don't know what the fuck it is. Anyway, so.
I will definitely go to Bandcamp and take a look at that.
We appreciate it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not making any money off it.
Hey, it doesn't matter. We're
making our cost, if anything. I want to say, so.
Yeah. Well, it also helps still support independent films. There's a lot that goes into being an independent. I have a lot of friends that are in the fan-made film industry. So Womp Stomp Films, independent, and they do Friday the 13th fan film. So they recreate their own version of Friday the 13th, and it's really good. You can watch them on YouTube. I'm a huge supporter of fan-made films and indie films because
it's not Aaron Carlson, is it?
No, Vincent DeSanti.
Okay.
He runs Womp Stomp, and he does Never Hike Alone 2, and then there's they're not think Never Hike Alone 2 is an hour and a half long, and the others are a bit shorter. But he raised all the funds on Indiegogo. Blood, sweat, and tears go into it. And that's what I like about independent films and fan films is you get to see their passion for the filmmaking and what they will go to get their art up on the screen. No matter what happens, they're going to go and do it. And I think that's great.
I mean, look, my mom went and like talked to her favorite Indian restaurant and made them donate some food one day, and like and gave them a thank you in the thing, and in the credits, and like who knew that like our movie would go to #1 on Netflix, and like a lot of people would see it, and that thank you is in there, like
yeah.
So people were like, oh, okay, what is the whatever of India, Taj of India or whatever it's called,
yeah,
Raj of India.
People look at those. I look at those when the film is done. I always look, especially independent films, because they're always thanking people that either donated time, food, resources, and you always see the names in there. So I'm always looking at the thank yous and the appreciations.
For sure. I mean, like even like the Terrifier 2s that made like $15 million. I just sit and like I want to see everyone's name in that crowdfunding thing. You get to be producers and stuff, or at least get thanked or whatever.
Yeah.
It's very interesting.
It is, and it's nice to see. And I know that independent films have more creative control compared to some of the bigger studio producers.
Sure. I mean, testing movies for a living for the mostly independents as well as studio films. It's very much by committee at the studio. The filmmaker may have final cut.
Right.
I guarantee you they're being pressured the shit out of to be reasonable. Be reasonable. That's what they always say. Be reasonable. Like, hey, Ridley Scott, Kingdom of Heaven, we got to get that movie in. You have a 3.5 hour cut of it, and we're trying to get it into theaters one extra show time to make your money back that we let you spend. Right. So if you want to make some more money, movies with us.
Yeah,
it's 20th Century of Fox. That's what I'm looking at when I say that. Then yes, you better help us out. And he knows how to play a game. His producers and his brother and him at the time. Obviously he's passed on now. Poor guy. Yeah. Have the production company scot free, and they're not stupid. They know that like Sir Ridley Scott, as he's called, likes to make 1 or 2 movies a year, and he's 80 something now. He's got a great team.
Yeah.
Steven Spielberg doesn't care. Oh, that one didn't work. Well, next one. We'll catch it next time. Like he just wants to work. He's just that keeps him alive and vibrant and whatever else.
Yeah.
And, he's one of the best filmmakers of our time. But these people have to make deals a lot of times, and that's the studio system in a nutshell, right there.
Yeah.
So.
I watch a lot of director commentaries. I always buy DVDs or Blu-rays with director's commentaries because I love hearing the behind the scenes stuff. And that's usually when they open up about things, or you watch a documentary like In Search of Darkness, and they sit there, they talk, and they tell you some of the things that went on, how they made the deals. And so I find that stuff pretty interesting. I think most horror fans, I'm going to say quite a bit of horror fans, not most, love to hear the background on how their films get made.
Sure. Can I ask a question?
Yeah.
I'm happy to stay on longer.
Yeah.
I just got to pee like I'm going to die.
Oh, go for it. We can even end. I mean, it's really up to you.
I'm happy to keep on for a second. I'll just mute it for a second and run to the bathroom. And
go for it.
And we can do some more because I like this is fun. This is fun for me anyway. So
I have fun doing it too. Okay. How is everybody else doing tonight? You hope it's on Kindle. What, the book? Coming of Age, Come Rain or Come Shine. You might want to take a look for it. I'm not sure if it's on Kindle. I don't think it has an Audible, but you may want to look for it. You might be able to find it there. But you can find the film 1BR on Tubi. You can actually find it everywhere. However, watch it on Tubi. Watch it on any site that has ad revenue. Thanks, JJ. I'm glad you're enjoying the conversation. There will be an edited version, meaning like the little breaks that we have taken, that'll be edited out, when you can watch the live right now. You can watch the VOD even afterwards if you've missed anything, especially with Naomi. You can watch it then. It'll still always be up. There also just will be an edited version, more condensed version and also clips. You're doing well. You're really enjoying the chat. I'm glad you are enjoying it. I love doing these things, and I'm hoping to bring back my hangout sessions with people and movie makers and things. Always great to talk about that stuff. You're feeling better. This has been a great interview. Thank you, Zach. I appreciate it. I'm glad you're feeling better. You will check out on Freevee, although there are so many ads on that. Freevee and Tubi, so you'll be able to find 1BR on both of those, Speedy.
I mean, it's on everything. Peacock.
Welcome back.
You can look on. Hey, I'm back. Peacock and Pluto TV, Roku TV, Plex, Zumo, and Shutter if you want to do commercial free. AMC Plus. But we make more money if you.
Well, that's why I was pushing.
We've already spent the money from Shutter, so there's no money in these money-grubbing producer hands from them anymore. So get us money other places if you don't mind. I got a child to support and stuff. So.
Yeah, well, that's why I was telling them try to push it on all the ad revenue sites like Tubi. And I know everybody has Tubi, and you can watch it on everything and anything.
Yeah, look, every little bit helps, right?
Yeah.
So, and here's the main thing. You can actually, here's a great thing you can do for us. So when I used to test movies, it would ask you to score the movie. Excellent, very good, good, fair, poor, right? The other score that mattered so much was the definitely recommend score. Would you definitely recommend this to a friend? And what that score indicated was whether you'd have good word of mouth, right?
Yeah.
And I'll tell you this. You telling your friend that you like that movie can help a small film such as this one more than any trailer I can pay to have cut. Because you telling your friend will literally like pump the dial. Like it'll literally it'll push them over the edge to maybe want to watch it, check it out, whatever. Oh, I've seen that movie around a bunch of times. I've never watched it. Well, fucking you should watch that movie. You're going to like it. Here's what I would tell you, too. The trailer's a good trailer. We actually got nominated for a Golden Trailer Award. We worked very hard in that trailer. And we were the only independent film that got nominated for that category. And the fucking Joker beat us, right?
Oh, wow.
We were never going to beat the Joker. Okay.
Right.
So, but the guy did such a good job with the trailer. It doesn't give away anything, whatever else. But I'll tell you this. People like the movie even more when they don't know anything about it.
Yes.
When they completely go in cold, you tell your friend, look, just check out this movie. I don't want you to know what it's about. Just fucking go watch it, right? It's a little bit of a slow burn. It takes a little while to get started, but once it gets going, it's going. You're down the track, okay? It's a tight 90 minutes. It won't waste your time. I know horror fans don't care as much for Rotten Tomatoes, but for horror films, that's absolutely the case, right? Because there's certain horror movies that are fantastic. That the critics hated, right? But there are, when you have a movie such as ours, which is actually a psychological thriller with elements of horror, that film kind of stands out. It stands out as to why a Rotten Tomatoes score actually would matter for that, because it's not a straight horror movie, actually.
Yeah.
And we had fights. I'll be honest with, our distributor's a great distributor. Dark Sky does a ton of different stuff, a lot of Ty West stuff. They do, a ton of them. They have Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and Portrait of a Serial Killer, But they were in a transitional phase where their publicists didn't quite believe that Rotten Tomatoes actually mattered. And I was like, no, but our movie's not a horror movie. It's a psychological thriller elements of horror. So you got to listen to that. You got to understand that. And also now, if you go to Peacock or different websites, that score is up there if you want it to be. So you have a movie that stars nobody that's kind of like a thriller with horror.
Yeah.
People who like thrillers like the Rotten Tomatoes score. They look at that as something that informs them in some way.
Yeah.
So that's a smart score to have on there, right? So the bottom line is this. You can tell friends if you like it. Of course, if you don't like it, then shut up. But but if you like it, please tell your friends, hey, look, just go see this movie. You're going to love it. It's 88% on Rotten Tomatoes. And it's a thriller more than a horror. So just so you know that scores matter. The scores matter. And you telling them that will help this film more than you can imagine. Because that word of mouth is actually, I'll be honest, it got us to #1 on Netflix. This little film beat Jamie Foxx. They wrote an article in fucking Forbes about our movie. They're like, who is this no-name film that just beat Jamie Foxx's Project Power? And we're
Yeah.
like, it was us. It was
Yeah.
us.
That must have felt great, though.
Well, but I'm not saying I was running our social media because I always do, but I do. I had help back in the day because it was like there's just too much.
Yeah.
But like now, like it's just it's calmed down a bit and I can just do it. But back in the day, I tweeted Jamie Foxx and I was like, so if that movie had been #1 for one more day, it would have been the most #1s of any movie for that year
Oh,
at the
wow.
time, right? Yeah, Extraction had the record at some point, like in May, but now Jamie Foxx is like up to like whatever day #1, and we beat him. And I was like,
Wow.
sorry, we had to take you out, dog. The game recognizes game, and he never wrote us. He never wrote us back.
I don't think he does his own Twitter.
Oh, I know he doesn't. We tagged him in the tweet. I'm just thinking he had the gusto to want to say something, the bravado or something like good luck, dogs, or whatever. And he's just like, I'm not saying shit to you people. You people are nothing. You people are nothing to me. And we were only #1 for one day, but we were in the top 5 for 8. We weren't in the top 5 for 8 days actually.
Yeah, and
so that was like crazy.
I believe I watched you guys when I did have Netflix. When I had Netflix, I think that's where I was scrolling through. It was one of my nights that I couldn't sleep, and I scroll through and I look at the films, and I've seen quite a few indie films just because my insomnia. And I landed on that one and I watched it, and I was like, okay, I'm going to have to come back to this when I'm not tired. And then I watched it again. And then I seen it again on Tubi, and then I seen it again on Tubi again today.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's a good film. Thank you for making a great film.
The funny thing about Netflix, I'll say, is this. I mean, look, I love the fact that they, believed in us enough. Like they actually rejected us twice. They rejected us twice. And then we came out on TVOD, like on iTunes and Google Play and everything in April of 2020. And we did incredibly well. Like we were in the top 3 horror movies, I want to say, on iTunes and stuff. And like things that were beating us were like The Invisible Man. Like we're not going to beat the fucking Invisible Man. It's like in COVID, like the shutdown just happened like March 15th, I want to say, right?
Yeah.
People are sitting around panicked. They don't have shit to do. They don't have shit to watch. So we did incredibly well to the point that our distributor took the numbers to Netflix. And we're like, look, just look. I mean, come on. And they're like, all right, we'll take you. We'll give you very little money, but we'll take you. And we're like, oh, thank you, Jesus. It's like, but because we knew that was it's the biggest, baddest streamer. And if you look at their subscription numbers, they went way up because of COVID. And we came out in August of 2020, which was people were still fucking at home. The theaters weren't really open. They had tried to kind of start and stop opening theaters. In California, we're one of the strictest states. They don't play. So like they weren't opening shit. And so like, a bunch of people were watching it like on Netflix. And, as much as COVID was bad and everything, it helped us in a way because more people saw that movie. It could have very easily come and gone at the theater and disappeared very quickly.
Yep.
But it's stuck around for 8 days. And I'll say this, I checked Netflix at the time. I would look at it. I'd go for a walk every day and I would just check where we were, sort of like, and how many categories we were in. You can kind of tell a lot of different things the way their metric plays out. And I educate myself because of market research and everything else. I really try to figure these things out. Netflix doesn't really release their numbers to anybody, but you can kind of get a sense of how you're doing depending on how many categories you're propagated into. You have to have an account that likes horror movies but's never seen the horror movie, right? And that way it offers it to you like in all these different ways because it really just wants you to see it. Once you've seen it, it offers it to you less, but it offers you in different categories still, right?
Yes, okay, that makes sense.
They have a bunch of different categories they'll offer it to you, like 90 minutes or less, or trending horror, or whatever. And you can tell if you haven't watched it but you watch horror in that particular account that okay, we're in like out of like I don't know 30 different columns or 50 different columns, probably something like that. We're in like 20 of them, right? So you're doing very well in the algorithm. And let's also be fair, besides certain few gems that Netflix has, I think I liked Fear Street quite a lot. I thought that was good.
Yeah.
What was the Our House? The House. It's a film about these African American immigrants from England.
Yes.
And
yes.
like,
His house.
His
It
yeah,
has-
that one of the Doctor Who's is in it, I guess. Yeah, that's like that was a really good film.
That was a
right?
really good film.
But of their original like horror films, besides like the Mike Flanagan shit, like it's pretty subpar. Like I mean, compared to how much money they have and what they produce, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Like, so we always did very well. We were on Netflix for 2 years. We were always like pretty consistently punching much above our weight in terms of how many people were actually watching the movie. And here's the thing for filmmakers: if you do go on Netflix, you want to be on Netflix because if you do have something at least that's like good but not great, like I always say, remember excellent, very good, good, fair, poor. We're between a very good and a good. That's what
Yeah.
our film is, and I know that. I know what I have. Like we didn't have enough money to make it an excellent. But if you're even punching there's so few good horror movies made every year in general. There's like 20 good horror movies made every year. I will tell
Yeah.
you that with like absolute, like, I mean, with passion, that sadly that's what it is, and having tested movies. On Netflix, there are far less, unfortunately. So if you think about this big viewership pond and there's not that many good horror movies per se, you'd be best to be on Netflix, especially if you have a sequel that you potentially have coming, which
Yeah.
we do now. We do have a sequel coming. That's all I can say about it. I can't say
I know.
anything else.
I cannot
But,
wait for your sequel.
yeah, it's gonna be good, dude. I'm gonna tell you.
I'm sure it is.
I will tell you this: if the first one is Alien, the second one is Aliens, and that's all I will tell you about it. That is all I will tell you about it.
I'm excited. I that was one of the first things I said on Twitter. I was like, I need a sequel. We need a sequel. And if you guys are just joining us, I am talking to Alok Mishra, one of the producers of 1BR, a thriller horror film that you can watch right now on Tubi.tv. Actually, if you're in the States, you can watch it anywhere. But please go watch it on Tubi.tv because they still make a little bit something from you guys watching it on Tubi.
Money grabbing producer fingers. Right?
Okay, I gotta
need the
remember to
money.
do that and say that at the same
Yes,
time.
money grabbing.
Not money for me, but money for them.
Yes, money for us.
Yes. Thanks for being here, Deadwalk. Have a good night. But yeah, no, that is awesome. I think the way the movie ended, I was like, there's got to be a sequel.
Well, listen, is there any more questions from the audience? I want to make sure we get through all of their questions, whatever they might be, because I want to make sure, like, because I think that they're so special that they're here with us and so forth. It's amazing.
Yeah.
I want to make sure that they get their voices heard.
No, I was actually copying down some of the stuff that I did ask, and so we've already actually talked about some of the questions because of how I was asking and how you just took it and you just kept going, and then you answered our questions without even knowing you were answering questions.
That's a funny thing. You can't see any questions, right?
The Flashpoint, it's Tubi.tv, TUBI.tv. And the movie we're talking about is the number 1 BR, which I will post right here because we have all of the information, the IMDb and the Twitter. So if you guys got Twitter, Instagram, all that jazz, that is the link. That's the IMDb page as well. Go check it out. But go watch the film. If you haven't seen it, don't worry about all of that jazz. Go watch the film. I think you're going to like it. I haven't led you guys astray when I tell you what movies I like, what I disliked about movies. I thoroughly enjoyed it. It's 90 minutes. Doesn't take a whole hell of a lot of time, but it stays with you. The movie stays with you because you kind of think about it.
I mean, it's a bit of a slow burn to start. I'll say that as far as the pacing. So it takes a little while. But like, look, after minute 20, as I like to say, it cooks. It goes. Like, you'll be on the ride with us, right?
Yeah.
But look, you need a little bit of character development, if you will, setup and so forth.
Well, you do, in that kind of movie, you do.
Well, a lot of times, if you think about the structure of horror movies, and this is like as test for someone who used to test movies, right? I think about this quite a lot. You always get the movie where within the first like 5 to 7 minutes, you get that first scare. You're left with something. This is how it's gonna be, and then now we can set up the characters, right?
Mm-hmm.
When you don't have that, when you kind of come into something, you're sort of exploring the world. You're getting used to it. It takes a second, but if it gets someplace, it does get someplace, but it takes a little while to set up. Is my point, actually.
Right.
So when you don't have that first initial scare that is so formulaic, and that look, I'm all about that first scare. I like it. Like, I mean, I just saw, what was it? I don't think this had this, but this was a terrific film that I've never seen before. That I'm just so late to the game on. Kill List. Have you seen Kill List?
No, it's on my list.
Oh my God.
Kill List is on my list.
It's so interesting the way they set that movie up. Actually, it's kind of like ours, where there's not like that first
right
scare or whatever, but it just unfolds in this crazy way. It's so well acted. The acting actually is it's a British film, and it's by Ben Wheatley, who just did Meg 2.
Yes.
So you can see where his look. By the way, Meg 2 is fucking awesome. People would argue that it's not. But the last 30 minutes, like if you have to watch none of the movie and you just want to watch the last 30 minutes, the payoff is spectacular. It is all the death you want to see in a giant shark movie.
Nice.
Jason Statham jousting a shark on a fucking sea-doo or whatever. It is just perfect. Like, it's just like chef's kiss of like this stupidity and amazingness at the same time. But Ben Wheatley, I'm gonna say his name is, like, did that movie, his first movie he did, and just like really, that's the one VR of that year, of 2011, 2013, where you're like, oh, this is unexpected. What a great film. I'm glad I discovered that, right? So if you guys are still doing your you have like what is it, 7 more days of your
of Halloween
days of Halloween.
I do 365.
Absolutely, just pop that in there. Whatever you were deciding, just slub something out. That's maybe we're questionable. I mean, a Slaughterhouse. Yeah, I mean, kind of fantastic in its own right too, by the way.
Yep.
But for totally the wrong reasons. I felt dirty from watching it, but dirty in the right way is what I think I said on the 1BR Twitter. Is something that we control and have fun with. We kind of treat it like it's a real cult. So people are really nice. People are really nice to us for like, oh my gosh, would you like to come to a dinner party? And we say shit like this, and then they get freaked out, and we're just like, yeah, we'll see you soon. We're just around the corner from you, that kind of thing. We invite them to barbecues at certain parts of the year. If it's July 4th, hey, do you want to come to a barbecue at Casa del Mar? Whatever it is, Silla del Mar. We do fun things like that there, but we also do like a 31 Days of Horror, just because I'm very much
October.
Yeah, you got to do it.
I'd
like to do 100 days, but it's too much for me.
Oh yeah, on YouTube, it's constantly making it. Yeah,
it's just too much. But the Slaughterhouse was one of our recommendations this year. I mean, I didn't think I was gonna like it, but you know what? Good friend Jason Ragnosta, who's a very talented writer, and in fact, he had a directing thing for the movie Symphony. That was an anthology. Do you guys ever hear that?
No.
Dark Sky put it out. It's a bunch of different really cool up and coming directors, and he's a great writer director. He's helping us out in a lot of weird ways. But that guy, what was my point about him? Sorry, I'm missing. Now I've drank too much. I have drank too much beer, actually. I'm messing my the timeline.
You were talking about Slaughterhouse.
He recommended it to me.
Yes.
Going back to the recommend to a friend thing,
right?
Yeah. And I was
like,
I started it. It put me to sleep. He's like, no, dude, you gotta fucking watch this. It's fucking legit, like ridiculous. And I was like, all right, because you're say so. So I went back and I watched, and I was like, this is actually kind of brilliant in a lot of ways. Like,
nice.
It's terrible, but it's amazing.
Like, I have it written down. I'm gonna look for it.
Oh my! It's on. Wait, sorry, it's on Hulu. Actually, now I fucked you. It's on Hulu, and you don't have Hulu in Canada. But I want to think that movie may be available like someplace else. Like, they make different deals different places.
Yeah, they do.
Maybe it's on Shudder there. I don't know.
I'll take a look and see. Sometimes they put it on other channels like Showcase. Or like Stars. Sometimes we have those here.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, look, you don't see it now. At some point, you're gonna remember this conversation, and remember that I have recommended it to you.
Yeah,
because it is in its own right like I said, I felt dirty for watching it, but dirty in all the right ways, you know.
Yes.
Just the way Naomi's mother, Martha Grossman, makes me feel as well. Going back to that again.
That's funny.
I'm totally showing her this video, by the way. She's gonna see it.
Yeah.
I promise you.
Oh, I think it would make her day. I think.
I actually think it would actually.
That she's being spoken about on a podcast or vodcast, however you want to call it.
Yeah, and
and people are interested in that book.
I mean, look, we do fun things for the 1BR site, like around like holidays a lot of times.
Yeah.
Because people like have time off and they can watch movies and this and that.
That they can.
So maybe here's the thing. What I'm thinking. Here's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking either I think on Christmas or Christmas / Christmas Eve, or New Year's Eve / New Year's Day, I get Naomi Grossman to do a cameo stage reading of 3 excerpts of her mom's book. And we post them on the Twitter with the promise, we'll do this for you, with the promise that you'll tell your friends about the movie. Mm-hmm. And secondly, you yourself will watch the movie that day. And we will post, I will pay $100 to get 3 excerpts of that book read by Naomi Grossman.
That's be great.
Promise. That's my promise to you.
That 100%. Would be great. Well, we just told I have 144 people on Twitch. I have no idea what I have on YouTube or Kick. So we just told probably about 200 people about 1BR and Naomi's mom, the book, yeah.
And tell your friends. Tell your friends.
Everybody tell your friends. Thing. Yeah. Word of mouth is huge. Never Hike Alone 2 just came out about not even 5 days ago. And we were able to watch their movie on YouTube. They hit 1 million viewers. This is a fan film that raised funds by their fans, and they hit 1 million views, and they're not even out a full week.
Wow, that's
amazing. Word of mouth.
I don't even know what, like, it's so funny. Like, the YouTube world versus other worlds is I'm sure different, but I don't even know what that means as far as actual money and stuff. Like, maybe is that a bunch of money, or maybe if it's like if at the end of its lifespan it has 10 million views, like that would be like $100,000. I don't know what that means.
Well, and ad revenue. So if a channel has ad revenue and they're monetized with YouTube, now I'm not sure if Never Hike Alone Womp Stomp Films is, but when, like, for myself, I monetize. I'm partnered with YouTube. So after this, I will chop this video up, make a shorter version of it, and throw it out and add monetization to it. So I'll make money off of that ad. Not hell of a lot, a couple of cents. But if you get 1 million views, even if it's 1 penny per view, that's 1 million views. That's how much money do you have?
All right, well,
right?
Versus no money. That's great money.
Exactly. Versus 0 to millions of pennies.
Totally. Well, listen. I don't want to take your audience's time up much more. I feel like we've had a great conversation. I just want to make sure there's no more questions on their end. I mean, I'm happy to answer anything else from those guys who stuck around and who had any questions. I'm happy to. If there's anything else, let me know.
You heard it here, guys. Do you have any other questions? This is last call for questions. Anybody want to know anything? Want to know anything about producing? Anything at all? I have a question. What would you tell somebody who wants to get into producing films? How to go about it? What should they learn? What should they read?
Well, okay, look, I think that the script is the thing, right? I think that that's one part of it, right? Like learning to understand what a good story is, that's one part of it. The other part of it is to watch. I think, look, you can say, I want to produce all kinds of movies. Yeah, it's great, but I think in this day and age, if you want to do horror, concentrate on horror, right? Yeah. Like, I want to do horror. Even when I was testing movies, I was like the horror movie guy. Like, I would be like, there's one theater over here in the Valley, right? I live, sadly, in the Valley now. I used to live on the West Side. Had a kid. Another divorce. So I live in Encino Hills now. It's not bad. It's like almost to the west. It's like you're over the hill, you're at the west side. But my point is that in the Valley, there's a theater that was called the Pacific Winnetka. And the Pacific Winnetka is interesting because if you wanted to like make it in horror, if like you can make it there, you can make it there anywhere is the idea, right? So
Nice.
everyone tests their fucking movies there. Wes Craven,
Mm-hmm.
Alexander Aja, Eli Roth, all the Boozman, like all the different people, James Wan, all these fuckers. They test their movies at that theater because they're the perfect sort of representative ethnic composition that would mirror what the horror movie audience was.
Yeah.
Now, back in the day, like you test your movie ages 17 to 39. Now it's more like just 44 because people are like, getting married later or doing whatever. So there's like more man boy people like me that like I will go watch horror movies by themselves. By the way, I'm 52, unfortunately. I'm 51. Sorry, 51.
Well, you don't look it.
Thank you. Brown does crack actually eventually. You can tell. The whole thing. But my point is that you test a movie there, right? And you test a certain age and test a certain demographic, and you get a read on the film how it was going to test in a microcosm, and you could relate that to the rest of the country, right? So I was a horror movie
makes
guy.
sense.
I would basically go and like it was fascinating to meet the filmmakers, but then you sit and talk to them and you present scores to them, and you're kind of like their priest, their rabbi, their confidant. Like the studio doesn't trust the filmmakers don't trust the studios, so they trust you, right? Because you don't have a dog in the fight. You're just the third party that's come in to kind of help them pick an audience, talk about what we're going to talk about for the log line of the movie, a must-see list for the movies. Like, there's 10 movies on this list. Have you seen 3 of them in the theaters? Okay, you can come, right? Like that, you basically discern and you formulate an audience for them, and we write a report for them at the end of the day. Like we test a movie on a 7 o'clock on a Thursday night. By Friday, the next night at like 7 o'clock, they have like this 60-page report, all these facts and figures. This tested better with the females. It tested better with this age of female. It tested better with Hispanic females. All this stuff kind of comes up in a very, detailed way to let them know. Either there's 2 kinds of screenings, like a marketing screening. This is who it's appealing to more, or for actual filmmaker screening, where like, okay, they don't understand what's happening at the end, dude. Like they do not understand why this character did this. Is there a way do you have anything on the editing, floor you can pick up and put back in that you can make explain better? Or at the very worst, do we have to go back? And they usually didn't do this for horror movies, to be frank. Can we go back and reshoot something so it makes it more clear? You know? I remember for the first Jason Blum, his company, were very close and very friendly together because we kind of started off. I knew Jason Blum from like Miramax days.
Yes,
right?
Miramax.
And so like when we were doing Paranormal Activity, was the first movie, DreamWorks had picked that movie up. DreamWorks was with Paramount at the time. It was Jason's like kind of first like movie on his own. And I got brought in to look at that movie just like before we were going to test it. Like, hey, what do you think of this movie? And there was something like they wanted to make a remake of it with like Ashley Judd and Matthew McConaughey, some bullshit like this, like a shot for shot remake of it. And I was like, this is a terrible idea. You know what the best thing about this movie is? You don't know if it's real.
Yeah.
It is kind of a Blair Witch in a way, but it has, it has the goods. It's scary. I mean, and Blair Witch had the goods too, by the way. Blair Witch is very scary. I just didn't care for the ending of Blair Witch, right?
Yeah. I would agree with that.
A lot of people would agree with that. Like,
yeah.
I remember testing a movie in Omaha, Nebraska. We were testing The Straight Story. David Lynch directed it. And it's a weekend that Blair Witch came out. And I was watching people come out of that theater and like, that movie. They were just so mad at it. And like, I was just like, it's a really effective movie.
It is.
Except the end is not what it should be. Right.
Yeah.
So for Paranormal Activity, the end was not what it should be. The original ending for it, and I don't know if it's I'm sure it's on a DVD or Blu-ray or something like that.
Most likely.
Yeah, like basically, I think what happens is that she ends up, you don't see what happens to Mika, that male character, off screen. And then she just walks in the room and she looks at the camera and she just cuts her own throat. You hear some stuff going on, but you don't know what's happened, right? Yeah. So they paid to do, so Spielberg actually came up with part of the idea because he owned DreamWorks.
Yep.
And it was with Paramount. I watched the the first cut of the movie that had that ending I talked about first. And I said, look, this movie is fantastic. I would not remake it at all. I would also tell you that just the ending. It's just the ending. And they were like, all right, we're gonna test it without like changing the ending.
Yeah.
And I'm like, they tested it, and I said it's gonna score this. And I made a bet with like the head of market research, and she was just like, all right, it's not gonna do, it's not gonna do the score. I'm like, it's gonna do better, actually. It'll do this score better. I made the bet, and it did better, right? And so they were like, okay, let's go back and reshoot the ending. The Spielberg gives notes, and he says, throw him through the back of the. That's his idea. Throw him through the back of the thing, right? And then have her come up and do whatever you're gonna do. They shot two endings. One with a cop. A couple cops are doing something, and she just murders the cops or something. And the other one was the one they went with, which was that they throw him through the fucking back of the thing, and then she comes up, and the camera is like, I think, knocked on its side at that point, and she runs up, and she for a second she just turns into the demon, like you can see it in her face, and just knocks the camera off, whatever, right? That's what they went with, and that was a much better ending. And that movie was such fucking lightning in a bottle.
Yeah.
They were just like, they didn't know what they were, just like, holy shit. Like, it was, I forget the division of Paramount that they had sort of put it under, but it was just like shitty little division that they did a couple of films, but not much. And they never kept Jason Blum around. That was the problem. Like, they could have kept him around for a lot longer than just the Paranormal Activity movies, because he wanted to do stuff with them. Paramount Players or something shitty like this. Anyway, he went to Universal, and the rest is history. Like, how many fucking hits did they have?
Look at him now.
You know, although let's just be honest about the Exorcist movie. It's kind of a piece of shit.
I haven't seen the Exorcist. I plan on seeing it. It's on my friggin' list. And the Nun too. I watch all the horrors.
I watch it too, but I'm not watching the Nun 2 in the theater. Like,
I won't watch it in the theaters.
I did want to watch it in the theaters. It's not played in the theaters anymore here at all.
Yeah, it doesn't have a long. I live in a small city in Alberta, Canada, so it doesn't last long at all. So it's usually a couple of days and gone. Cannibal Corpse. He was just saying that the alternate ending is on the DVD for Paranormal Activity.
Okay, yeah. So I mean, you do look that was so they went back and tested again with that ending. And right before I was gonna like play, the fucking film broke down. Like, the whole fucking thing broke down. And they're like, what the fuck? So they had to then test it again. Like, it was the whole thing. We were just like, we ran up to the booth and we're like, what the fuck's going on here, dude? And they're just like, I don't know. It fucking melted. It melted. Like, this is when they were still doing film, I want to say.
Yeah.
And like something had melted, and like we were just like, we're gonna have to give these fucking people free movie tickets or something. Like, and I had to go scramble to fucking do that, you know. So yeah, it was just dreadful. But they tested again and tested better, even better than the first time, which I said would score this. It scored better, and then this time it scored even better. And so then they were just like, all right, we got something interesting here, and they just did a kind of a tear opening for it. And I'm telling you, like, the word of mouth for that movie was so good. Like, people were like, I don't know if this is real or not.
Yeah.
And that I don't know if it's made like more than $1 billion something, that franchise at this point.
Yeah. Oh, it's made quite a bit.
There's been some, you know, I'll call them episodes or sequels that have been better than others. But it was you know, it was a thing where they went through, I think, six of them,
something like that. I think the last one was Next of Kin. Paranormal Activity Next of Kin.
That was terrible.
It was totally different than the.
It just had nothing to do. Like,
it had nothing to do with the other films. Yeah.
That was a problem with it. It was just sort of like, but I mean, like, look, the ones that were good, the second one was good. I think the third one was good. Fourth one was losing its whatever, and then it was the marked ones.
Yeah.
It was a fine return to form, I want to say. I don't remember the fifth or sixth one. I mean, I may be mixed. The Ghost Dimension was a piece of shit because that was supposed to be the end of it.
Yes,
and I was
yes,
like,
it was.
Come on now. This is bullshit. But look, if you want to see a good horror movie, I'm gonna tell you this: go get Shudder, get that, support that Argentinian filmmaker, and watch Terrified, not Terrifier.
Yep,
that'll scare you in the daytime. It's so good.
Yeah, that was a really good movie. I watched that. I watched that on Shudder. I have Shudder as well.
Yeah,
I mean,
you know.
Oh yeah,
Shutter
it was.
is like, you know.
We don't have it as
one
good
more.
as the States.
I'll give you one more actually, and I'm not sure if it's playing in Canada or not. I'm pretty sure it probably is. It's a fun horror comedy, and it's hard to get horror comedy right. By the way,
It is very hard to get it right. 100%.
I was brought the same time I was brought the 1BR script. I was also brought a movie called Tragedy Girls, right?
Tragedy Girls.
And it stars basically Craig Robinson, the young lady who plays a teenage negatonic teenager in like Deadpool.
Yes, yes, I know who
the
she
girl
is.
that's the love interest in the Spider-Man, the Tom Holland first one. She's the black young actress. She's also in like Black Klansman as well. She's gorgeous as well.
Yes.
So
I know who
girls,
exactly you're talking about.
They play kind of potential. Oh, and then the guy that Josh Hutcherson, who's in like the Five Nights at Freddy's or whatever, coming up this Friday.
I'm looking forward to that one too.
They're all in this movie called Tragedy Girls, and it's a movie about these young teenage ladies who capture a serial killer, and they make him help them train to be good serial killers themselves. And it's a fantastic film directed by gosh, give me a second. Not God, I'm so bad with names. And we're trying to get this guy for our movie, actually, by the way. For another movie, actually.
You said it's directed by?
Yes, same guy, Tyler. Oh my God, I know him too. It's like drank so much beer tonight.
Tyler McIntyre.
He just directed It's a Wonderful Knife.
Yes, that is on my watch list.
All right, well, it's coming out this Christmas.
Yes, it is.
Major release in theaters and so forth. And our buddies who helped write the script that we're trying to get him to direct just saw it in Canada.
Nice.
Where you people are.
Yep.
And I forget which festival it was at, but they said it was terrific. It was so much fun.
I've heard great things about it.
Very much has a Happy Death Day kind of vibe to it.
Nice.
You know, so it's fun, light, but definitely violent horror at the time, so it needs to be like a freaky or something like that.
Nice.
So Tyler directed that movie, is my point. He directed the Tragedy Girls movie.
Yeah.
And the funny thing was, like, they were looking for funding for that, and I was like, I would never invest in a horror comedy because it's just tough to get it right. It's like a white stag.
It is hard to get that right.
How many times do you get like a Shaun of the Dead? Like, you know,
not
I
often.
feel like I'm becoming a gruff voice guy now. I should be smoking a cigar. Like, how often do you get to that? You know, it's true though. It's hard to
very
get
true.
A horror comedy right, actually. But they do get that right in that movie, actually.
Nice.
So that's the amazing thing of it. And he's a terrific director. And what's more is that we have a project we're trying to get him on board, but he might be a little too pricey for us now with the success of this movie, you know. So that's a tough thing. But he loves the script, and I can't say what it's about because I never say what it's about.
Yeah,
what we're trying to do. But
great,
you know.
Oh, so, good luck with that. I hope he does.
Same managers as Dave and Mama. So, you know, they're producers on 1BR Part 2. So we're hoping there's some synergy. You know?
Yeah, well, fingers crossed. Fingers crossed.
All right, okay. Are those all the questions?
Yep, that's all the questions. And Cannibal Corpse says Tragedy Girls is a gem.
It is a gem. It is a gem. It actually is. I mean, look, it's hard to get horror comedy right.
Frankly. It really is. There's very few that have gotten it correct.
Yeah, for sure. All right. Well, look, I think if that's it,
that is.
Then I will say goodnight. I'll bid you guys adieu. Of course, watch 1BR wherever you can. And look out for the sequel. I mean, come follow us on 1BR_film.
Yep.
1BR_film. It's pretty much like, look, we're not on Instagram. I just don't understand Instagram, but we are on that.
You are on Instagram.
We are on Instagram, but
but you don't even play with Instagram. I have your Twitter down.
I'm trying to learn it. But I just can't. I'm old. I got a child. I'm divorced again, second time. I got a bigger fish to fry. Things I got to worry about. But Instagram.
Twitter's easy.
Twitter's easy. I mean, as much as like
it's easy.
I don't know what's happening with Elon Musk, to be fair, but like, you know,
who knows?
Crazy person, but you know, I'm sure he's gonna be fine. It's all gonna be fine, right? So, you know. No, I'm trying to say this. Follow us there.
Mm-hmm.
Follow us there, please. And even some people who like the your post today,
Yeah.
I followed them back just because I was like,
I
well,
know.
thank you for liking
I got
us. We,
DMs showing me screenshots. Oh my God, the film followed me back. I'm like, because they're awesome.
Look, if you follow us, we follow you. Unless you're like a porn person or
Yeah, we don't
like
want none of that.
deeply white supremacist and MAGA or
Yeah.
like I don't know. I mean, look, we support everyone here, the political affiliations, whatever. But if you're just a white supremacist, we don't want to follow you. And
100%.
And it's just what it is. We don't want to do that. And
Nope.
like, look, we try to keep it light. We try to keep it fun. Like, you know, we do that. We have a whole thing about the community and this and that.
Yeah.
And we're gonna kind of set up a website. If you follow us on Twitter,
Yep.
we are gonna at some point very soon set up a website that's gonna kind of give cryptic things at certain
Ooh,
times. So that'll be very interesting.
that'll be fun.
And we're gonna give it to you guys first. So
Sweet.
follow us on Twitter for sure, and you'll see. It's gonna be very interesting.
Links are in the chat right there, guys. There's
some Blair Witch early. If you remember Blair Witch,
I
Blair
remember
Witch
that
had one of the
guerrilla
best
marketing.
campaigns.
Oh my God.
And it was Eduardo Sanchez that came up with a lot of that shit actually. And we're also working with him on a TV project.
Oh, nice. Mm-hmm.
So you can find out a lot of things though when we, just come follow us at Twitter.
Yeah, we definitely will.
I have a dream of getting over 5,000 like followers one day. Like,
you will.
Can you make the dream come true?
Yeah, we'll help. We'll help. We'll chip in as a horror community and get it out there.
Look, but it's been so much fun. And look,
it has.
We will definitely come on for the sequel. And here's the funniest thing. We have so many friends in like the podcasting community, and I've put it out to them like, look, when we're making the sequel, I would love to see some of you in the background of this movie.
Ooh.
I don't know.
That's awesome.
I don't know. I mean, I don't know if I can pay to have you flown out, but I will put you out.
That would be great. I would be honored.
Yeah, so let's see. Like, hopefully a bunch of you watch this and tell your friends to watch the movie. And not only that, watch this video, watch this complete stream and so forth, right? And I like to go back. I keep record of this. I'm very like records oriented.
Nice.
And I see there's 8,000 to 10,000 people that watch this. All right, that's on the list. Whatever. It's on the list anyways, but it goes on the list as far as
Oh yeah, I also edit this up and I make short form content. So my TikTok, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube Shorts, this shit goes on everything.
we keep record of exactly what's been watched, and so we know when there's a bunch of people and a good community. We're like, all right,
yeah.
Just this person. This is funny. This girl did a TikTok video, right?
Mm-hmm.
And oh my God, I'm forgetting her name. I'm terrible with names. I can't remember names of actors in our movie. But she did a TikTok video where it's her like playing two different parts and talking to herself about like, oh, hi, like, I'm so happy to be part of this community. And they're like, there's no cats in here. And then she's like, oh, I don't have a cat. And then all of a sudden she's like, what's that smell? And this is like, it has like fucking 7 million TikTok views.
Yep.
And it like, I looked at like our numbers that week, like from IMDb, like the metric they have there, how people looked your movie up.
Yep.
And it's like, it went up to like, we were at like it went up to like 2,000 or something.
That's great.
From like, basically like 12,000 to 2,000. I'm like, what's crazy?
Yeah.
So anyway,
that's really awesome though. Word of mouth. That just proves word of mouth.
Word of mouth. Word of mouth.
Tell your friends, tell your friends to tell their friends and their family and everybody.
All right. Well, listen, thank you so much. We appreciate you so much.
Thank you.
Having us. And,
I loved it.
It was so much fun.
It was definitely a lot of fun. Would love to have you back before, after, during, whatever the sequel. Definitely would love to have you back. I enjoyed our conversation. It was a lot of fun.
100%. All right. Cheers. Thank you so much.
All right. Have a good one. Thank you.
Good night.
Good night. Bye.
Bye.
All right. Let's do this and let's do this. All right, guys. That was Alok Mishra. And earlier we had Naomi Grossman on. We were discussing the film 1BR. If you want to check out 1BR on your own, I highly recommend it. I've watched it 4 times so far, and my 4th time was today. You can watch it on Tubi.tv, Freevee, Hulu. You can watch it anywhere. However, watch it on Tubi.tv. And I say that is because Alok let us in on a little secret, telling us that independent films make a little something something every time you watch the full movie with ads and all on places like Tubi.tv. And 1BR is independent. It doesn't have big producers, deep pockets behind it. It was made for $250,000 as their budget. So definitely go and watch it. Check it out on Tubi.tv. Tell your friends about it. I know I've told all of my closest friends right here on stream, right? So you guys tell everybody about it. Get it watched. The links are in the chat. Also, if you're watching this on VOD, everything is in the description. All of Naomi Grossman's social media, also her American Horror Story one-woman show that's going around the United States, as well as the 1BR Twitter and more information. So if you're going to watch this on VOD, all of it will be down in the description. I don't mind ads supporting independent films. Me neither, Dante. Stormy, thank you so much for watching. I'm glad you guys enjoyed the interview. I will be bringing them back, where we do talk to movie producers and actors and actresses and people in the horror industry. This was our first one back on Terror Talk, and I thought it was going to be great, and we had an awesome conversation. I will have a chopped up VOD version of this live stream to cut out all the other, space that we've had in it, and you guys can watch a shorter version if you want. Make sure you give this a like on YouTube, share it on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. The more word of mouth you guys get out about the show, about the movie 1BR, the better it is for independent filmmakers. The better it is for them, and they're able to get more projects and more people involved. And there is going to be a sequel. Bro, YouTube is forcing 5 to 10. Yeah, but Mad Shy, the thing is that YouTube is free, and you're watching content that content creators make for free. Having 5 to 10 ads is really nothing when you know that money is supporting, 1, the platform, 2, the creator creating that stuff. Like for myself, I don't make a lot of money being a YouTube partner, but the little bits of money that I do make help me make more content. You know what I mean? So if you're watching Twitch and you get an ad on Twitch and people complain about Twitch, you're getting free entertainment. Like, you think about it, you're not paying a subscription unless you're actually paying somebody a subscription fee. You're getting entertainment for free at your fingertips, and most of the time it's live on Twitch, right? Same thing on Kick. Kick doesn't have any ads. However, that money that you're getting, those ads that you're seeing by watching somebody for free is helping not just the platform, but it's also going to the creator. So why not help out your creators? That whether they're independent filmmakers, whether they are a live streamer, IRL streamer, video game creator, it doesn't matter what they're doing. On these platforms, they have ads to keep shit going. I have no issues watching ads on YouTube, Twitch, wherever the fuck there's an ad. I know it's supporting, and I know ads can be crazy because we're in a time right now where we want to have no ads. We got used to being spoiled by Netflix and Amazon Prime and Disney Plus and all of those that never had commercials. So those commercials that you used to get during your Prime TV watching, those 30, 40 commercials in a TV movie, you're not getting that anymore. We've gotten spoiled. And the fact that, you get them now, you're getting what, maybe 2 minutes of ads? You know what I mean? And I put ad revenue on all of my VODs. So your perk of watching my stream live, you get to watch it with no ads. There are no ads on any of my YouTube live streams. And I turn off all my ad incentives. So I don't make any money on ads on Twitch because I don't run that incentive program. I could, I don't. But on YouTube, I do physically put ads on my YouTube VODs. It just helps me create more content to keep the content going. You know, that 50 cents that I made because 30 people watched the video, that 30 cents is going to go either to my internet bill, or it's going to go to a camera upgrade, or it's going to go towards a video game that I'm going to talk about, or it's going to go bringing on a guest on the show. Because not all guests do these things for free. Most of them do. Like 1BR, Naomi Grossman, they came on here. They contacted me. They came on here and hung out with us for an hour. This Alok was like almost 2 hours. So, I mean, they can't, 3 hours, I should say. They come, they hang out. So I don't really have an issue with ads myself. And knowing that the money goes to the platform to keep these creators going, I'd rather do that than pay Netflix. That's just me. I don't like Netflix. YouTube is going way overboard on the ads. I don't care about the ads either, but that's crazy. I watch YouTube and I haven't had 5 to 10 ads for a 5-minute video. Not at all. Are you sure it's a 5-minute video? I have gotten ads on like a 3-hour documentary that I've watched on YouTube. I watch 5-ish minute videos with as many ads. Really, Flash? So you watched a 5-minute video that had 5 ads on a 5-minute video? Were they skippable? Because you know how they have the skippable ads? Were they the skippable ones or the non-skippable ones? That's weird. I haven't had that many. I don't have YouTube Premium. I did have YouTube Premium, but I actually canceled YouTube Premium a while back when I canceled my Netflix. So I don't really get too many ads. Like, I've never seen 5 ads in a 5-minute. Mind you, I'm not saying that doesn't happen. I just haven't come across that. That's insane. Yeah, if that's what's happening, that's insane. I could skip some of them, but those ads were a minute plus long. I got you. I don't mind ads. I watch. The people that I watch on YouTube, I know where that revenue is going. I want you to do every day. I haven't seen ads get that bad. Yeah, I'm going to assume it's whoever you're watching puts those ads in. So I'm going to give you guys a little bit of an insider. If you don't know about being a YouTube partner, when you are monetized on YouTube, you have the ability to throw in a bunch of ads. So it's going to get worse as, oh, yeah, see, I don't watch anything like that on YouTube. So my YouTube is all horror or horror game related. Hi, Stefan. But a little thing about YouTube. So when you're watching a live stream, a creator can throw in ads in that live stream. They can throw in as many ads as they want. Skippable, non-skippable, yada, yada. I don't. On VOD, your creator can purposely throw those ads in there depending on where the ads are. So you can actually pause ads and you can put them where you want them in the videos, so that unlike Twitch, you know, you could be watching somebody on Twitch and all of a sudden the ad pops up and you lose everything that creator was just fucking saying and you're just like, what the fuck did they just say? Now, as a YouTube partner, you have the ability to actually put those ads in proper spaces. So you're not going to lose something. You're not going to be like, oh, what the fuck did she just say? And now I got to rewind that because that ad popped up, right? You have the ability to control that. So depending on who you are watching and what they're putting in there, if they're monetized. Now, if you're not a YouTube partner, ads are put on by YouTube, not by the creator. So if you're watching Joe Blow, who has 100 subscribers, and they're not partnered on YouTube, YouTube is purposely putting those ads in there. However, if you're partnered, you're putting those ads in there. Sometimes you have some sway on what ads are going into your videos. You don't know what ads are going into them, first and foremost. You don't know. However, you have the ability to pick and choose, where you want your ads on a live stream, where you want them. And that only just recently came out. That's only going to be coming out is actually where you want to place them. If you have Google AdSense, you can kind of connect it to where it will play relevant ads on your videos. It's not 100% though. I was driving to work and had an ad on the stoplight and had to honk twice to skip ad to turn the light green. What? I was driving to work and had an ad on the stoplight And I had to honk twice to skip ad to turn the light green. I think ads are just getting out of control everywhere. If you think about it, now Netflix has ads. Disney's adding ads. Soon Amazon's going to add ads. But these are platforms that you pay for. YouTube, unless you're paying for memberships or you're paying for YouTube Premium, it's free. Tubi.tv, it's free. Yeah, it has ads. Not a big deal. You get maybe a minute to 2 minute ads. You know, it's not really that big of a deal. However, Netflix, Disney, soon to be probably Amazon are all going to have a fucking tier. Netflix just brought in their different tiers. So if you pay X amount of dollars, you'll get ads. If you pay their premium tier, you won't get any ads at all. So yeah, everybody is Flash. Everybody is, you know, and it comes down to that money, right? That money. I don't do the ad incentive program here on Twitch, so I am at the mercy of Twitch's ad control. So as a Twitch partner, even affiliates, so I get an incentive if I want to play ads, and I can make extra money, extra income if I run these ad incentives. I don't run them. I don't run them at all. So I am at the mercy of Twitch throwing in ads whenever the fuck they want, right? Asuka Locke, welcome to the crypt. Thank you for the follow. Netflix constantly raising prices. Stormy, I canceled Netflix a long time ago. I have a streaming service now that gets all Netflix, all Disney, all Amazon, and I pay one yearly price and boom, no ads. I prefer it that way. I am not a Netflix supporter at all. Not at all. They just get greedy. I'm getting close to doing the same. Yeah. There's other platforms out there that you can have free TV. I mean, Suburban Streams, I'm watching that right now. It's in Canada, but it's on Showcase, which is not free. You have to either pay for a subscription for. I'm watching it right now, and I'm not paying a goddamn dime for it. As I understand that even subscribers will soon be seeing ads on Twitch unless they have Twitch Nitro. Well, I don't know if so. That's the problem. I heard that, but I haven't read it anywhere. They still have Twitch Nitro, which is just gets rid of ads. Their one selling point, their big selling point for people to subscribe to content creators is no ads. You see the ads. So if you have 10 subscribers in your channel and 10 viewers in a channel, total of 20, the ads will play. The 10 who are not subscribed will see those ads. The 10 who are subscribed won't see those ads, but the creator will get paid for those ads, just as if 20 people watched those ads, right? But really, only 10 people are seeing the ads. That is their only selling point to subscribe to somebody, besides that content creator giving out perks, right? Content creators give out all sorts of perks. Where the biggest perk, to be honest with you, is the whole no ads. If they got rid of that, I think they would really be shooting themselves in the foot if they decided to get rid of that perk becoming part of the sub, right? I know I wouldn't be happy about it, and I subscribe to people. I subscribe to people if they don't have a Patreon. I'm one of those people who will subscribe to their Patreon because they make more money. I still think the 50-50 split on Twitch is very archaic, and I really like what Kick is doing with their 95 and 5. However long that is sustainable for, I have no idea. However, you know, Twitch and Kick aren't the only platforms that actually give creators their money. Patreon has a good split. YouTube has a really good split. And there are other platforms out there that I can't really talk about because I don't know. I would seriously reconsider if subbing didn't get rid of ad. Exactly, Aurora. Exactly. And thank you, by the way, for your resub. I greatly appreciate your 31-month resub. Thank you very, very much. I was just in that interview, so I didn't have any of my alerts on. But I think that would be a real downfall if Twitch decided to get rid of that perk in that ad. And I'm, like I said, I subscribe to people's Patreon, right? More than their Twitch or their Kick or their YouTube. I subscribe to a Patreon or Ko-Fi or something. I don't have anything. I have Ko-Fi and Patreon that I actually subscribe to people with because I know they make more money. And as a fan of a creator, I want them to get the most bang for their buck. You know what I mean? I know what goes into the behind the scenes of being a content creator, to being a YouTuber, to having all the work that you do yourself. I understand that. And I could do their Twitch sub and their YouTube sub, and I get that. I could get these cute little emotes and shit, but I don't do it for the emotes, you know? I do it so it helps the creator behind the scenes to pay their bills, to get better upgrades, to do all of that jazz, right? That's why I subscribe to somebody, but I don't really do it on Twitch. I only subscribe to 2 people on Twitch. Everybody else who's on Twitch and YouTube and Kick, I do their Patreon. It's just 1, better perks. 2, I know that they're getting the most of my money. So if I'm paying a $5 subscription, I know that person on Patreon is getting 70% of that, which is better than the 50%. I know it's not the 95%, but it's still better than the 50. Maybe Twitch will change it one day because we just got simulcasting here on Twitch. So who knows? Who knows? But I'm glad you guys really enjoyed the interview. I am going to head out. I had a fabulous time on Terra Talk, and we will be doing another Terra Talk Tuesday, obviously next Tuesday, and we may have another pop-up interview. I'm not 100% sure yet, but I am lining up interviews and chat sessions with filmmakers, producers, actors, all that fun stuff. You have a great night, Flashpoint. Thank you for being here. Stormy, thank you for being here as well. I totally understand that, but like when you get about 3 to 5 ads on a 3-minute video is overwhelming. Yeah, maybe you should contact the creator, Mad Shy. Remember that if they're partnered on YouTube, they have control of not everything. They don't have control of everything. They have control of certain things. But if they're not partnered, unfortunately, that's YouTube trying to push their YouTube premium, right? Because you ever get, when I'm on YouTube, I always get this little pop-up on my phone saying, you have 1 month of YouTube premium, skip or take or accept or whatever, right? And I'm just like, skip motherfucker, because I don't want to have it. But yeah, that sucks, Manchai, that you're on a 3-minute video, 3 to 5 ads. That is ridiculous. I will say that is ridiculous. Definitely. But thank you guys so very much for joining me. Wherever you are watching from, if you are watching on YouTube, thank you, Eve, JJ, Deadwalk, Zombie Box Reviews. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for hanging out. And if you're over on my Kick side of things, thank you, Abide and Deadwalk and Stefan and Ed and everybody else hanging out. And if you're here, thank you guys for chilling with me. I appreciate it. Thank you to my mods. I know Deadwalk had to go because adulting the next day. But Flashpoint, Zacho Green, Dante, Mad Shy, Stormy, Gamer Cannibal, and I can't wait for Evil Works. That one's going to be a good one as well. Thank you guys so very much for hanging out with me. Thank you, Aurora, for the follow. Thank you for chilling and listening to the interview. I hope you guys had a great time. I know I did. And I will see you guys Friday afternoon at 1:30 p.m. Mountain Time. We're going to be playing the Texas Chainsaw Massacre video game. I cannot wait. And we're going to have some horror stuff going on for you guys, as well as I will be in costumes. I plan on doing a Johnny cosplay because I think Johnny is pretty neat from Texas Chainsaw Massacre. And we may be watching some horror Halloween movies on Halloween if you guys want to hang out. Wait, you play TCM, right? Oh, we are having a training session on the Texas Chainsaw Massacre Friday night. If anybody is wanting to play in a no pressure zone, Friday night between 7 and 8 p.m. Mountain Time, we're jumping into a private server off stream, And we're going to teach a couple of new people how to play Texas Chainsaw Massacre. We're going to show them the basics, what they need to do, how they need to do it. So it's a no pressure, no judgment, no worry training session. That'll be going on in the Discord. So if you're not in the Discord and you want to join in, make sure you're in the Discord because it will not be streamed. It will not be live anywhere. And we're going to have a lot of fun. Also, Sundays in the Discord is movie, and we're also doing ghost hunting in Ghost Exorcism Inc. So if you want to watch some ghost hunting, you do have to be in the Discord for that. Oh, I am fucking there. Yeah, you are. All right, guys, thank you so much for joining me. Have an amazing night. I will see you all Friday at 1:30 p.m. Mountain Time. Have an amazing day tomorrow. And if you're in Alberta, where it's a fuck ton of snow outside, be safe when you drive. I love your guts, guys. Mwah. Thank you for your support. Thank you for your time. And thank you so much for being here. I will slash you all later. Have a good night.